Chapter 280. The ancient sword was dark gold in color. The body of the sword was wide, but as thin as a cicada's wings. The runes on the body of the sword were engraved with the sun, moon, stars, mountains, rivers, and all living beings. It had a terrifying aura that seemed to encompass the heavens and destroy the universe. It was stabbed into the head of the strange creature. The divine chains of order on the sword intertwined. It seemed to have a mysterious connection with the entire 8 Desolation secret territory, suppressing the strange creature. When Ling Xiao saw the ancient sword, he felt as if he was connected to it by blood. His eyes were filled with excitement and emotion. "Old friend, I didn't expect to meet you here." Ling Xiao sighed softly. His powerful mental energy spread out and headed for the ancient sword. Well, the ancient sword sensed Ling Xiao's mental strength and suddenly trembled. An unparalleled sword light burst out, containing a power that could destroy the heavens. It burst out with a brilliant light, emitting a trace of excitement and agitation. "Old friend, sky-devouring sword, come back." Ling Xiao's eyes were filled with joy as if he had seen his own child. He slowly stretched out his hand. Kacha! Thunder rumbled in the air as the ancient sword emitted a shocking sword hum. It was as if a mysterious world had appeared. The ancient sword's terrifying power was completely awakened. It blasted a huge hole in the head of the strange creature, and then it instantly broke through the air and flew over. A dazzling ray of light instantly fell into Ling Xiao's hand, forming a majestic and mysterious ancient sword that was overflowing with colorful lights. Boom! Ling Xiao felt a sense of connection with the sword. Instantly, he exuded an unparalleled aura. Golden light surrounded his body and a bright light lifted him up. At this moment, Ling Xiao's black hair flew in the wind. His eyes were filled with domineering and invincible confidence. At this moment, the sky-devouring supreme that shook the 9 heavens and 10 lands in Ling Xiao's previous life had returned. The sky-devouring sword was Ling Xiao's personal sword in Ling Xiao's previous life. It was a top-grade supreme weapon, comparable to the legendary divine weapons. It contained the power to devour the heavens and destroy the earth. It was just that in his previous life, when Ling Xiao became the #1 expert in the world, the heaven-devouring sword was left in the Chongsun sect, and became their sect-protecting treasure. In his previous life, when Ling Xiao and Supreme True Dragon explored the Scarlet Dragon War God's tomb, they did not bring the devouring sword with them. Otherwise, they would not have been so easily ambushed by Supreme True Dragon. In this life, Ling Xiao did not sense the aura of the devouring heaven sword in the longevity sect. Initially, he thought that the devouring heaven sword had been lost or destroyed. To think that he would see it here. In Ling Xiao's previous life, the devouring heaven sword had started out as a weak spiritual weapon. It had grown alongside Ling Xiao, constantly devouring natural treasures and evolving. In the end, it had become the world-shaking devouring heaven sword. To Ling Xiao, it was no longer a simple weapon. It was like an old friend. "Old friend, 10,000 years have passed. Even you have suffered such heavy injuries? So much so that your true spirit was annihilated, and you can only rely on your spirituality to suppress the evil spirit. Looks like you are the hidden array core of the 8 Desolation Devil Suppression Grand Formation." Ling Xiao caressed the devouring heaven sword as he muttered to himself. He could feel that although the devouring heaven sword was still domineering and powerful, its weapon spirit had dissipated. All that was left was a sliver of indestructible spirituality. Moreover, the devouring heaven sword was stuck in the head of the strange creature. It was the hidden array core of the 8 Desolation Devil Suppression Grand Formation. Although so many years had passed and the devouring heaven sword was greatly damaged, the strange creature was still unable to escape. "I guess it must be Jin Sei who kept you here." Ling Xiao sighed softly. There was a hint of confusion in his eyes. It was as if he had seen the peerless beauty smiling at him through the endless river of time. Roar! The devouring heaven sword returned to Ling Xiao's hand. In an instant, it exploded with terrifying power, causing great damage to the strange creature. The shocking sword essence almost pierced through the head of the strange creature. The strange creature roared. Its eyes were filled with bloodthirsty and frenzied killing intent. It stared at Ling Xiao and the devouring heaven sword in his hand. Moreover, taking advantage of the moment when the strange creature went berserk, The 108 Bodhi pearls of the demonic Buddha instantly pierced through the strange creature's demonic palm. A large hole was blasted open. Countless drops of black blood dripped down, turning into a surging strange black mist. Rumble! The strange creature was in pain, and began to struggle violently. The surrounding heaven and earth shook violently. Huge mountains collapsed with a rumble. The last 3 divine chains binding the strange creature also shattered instantly. In the sky, cracks appeared one after another, filling the air with endless strange black mist. The mountains on the ground crumbled, and huge rivers flowed in reverse. A terrifying figure stood up from the depths of the earth, and let out a roar that made one's blood boil. I am Oluo free. This world will be buried with me. Roar! The strange creature spat out an obscure syllable. Its blood-red eyes looked at Ling Xiao and the demonic Buddha. Its eyes were filled with monstrous hatred and killing intent. A terrifying baleful aura spread out, causing the surrounding heaven and earth to tremble violently. Oluo's aura rose violently, instantly surpassing the monarch realm, and reaching the profound sovereign realm that could suppress the world. Moreover, there were 3 strange starlights flickering in its eyes. They contained a mysterious and dark aura. Ling Xiao looked at Oluo without a trace of panic in his eyes. Instead, a trace of powerful battle intent rose within him. With the devouring heaven sword in hand, and sensing the power of the universal devil suppression formation, Ling Xiao could mobilize the power of the entire universal desolate secret realm. Old friend, follow me to conquer the world. Ling Xiao bellowed, and his aura instantly began to surge. Rumble! A tornado that swept through heaven and earth surged into Ling Xiao's body. His cultivation began to rise at a speed visible to the naked eye. First level of the Grandmaster realm, second level of the Grandmaster realm, 9th level of the Grandmaster realm, Noble realm, Monarch realm. Roar! A dragon's roar shook the heavens. Blood energy suffused Ling Xiao's body, while a golden divine dragon coiled around him. The terrifying energy seemed to be on the verge of bursting Ling Xiao apart. In just a short moment, Ling Xiao's cultivation rose to the peak of the 9th level of the Monarch realm. He was just a trace away from the Exalt realm. It wasn't that the universal devil suppression formation couldn't bring Ling Xiao to the Exalt realm. It was that his physical strength had reached its limits. No matter how heaven-defying the secret technique of the ancestral dragon was, Ling Xiao had only cultivated the earth dragon physique. So the 9th level of the Monarch realm was his limit. Ling Xiao's body had even started to be covered in veins of blood. The terrifying energy wasn't his own after all. It was merely borrowed energy, so it seemed extremely violent. Ling Xiao felt like the entire world was within his grasp when he sensed the formidable energy. He'd become the heaven-devouring Exalt again, and looked down upon the world. The devouring heaven sword emanated a peerlessly sharp glow as well. Numerous rays of light shot through the air like divine chains of order, and they emanated an aura capable of devouring the world. Senior Demon Buddha, let's see who'll be the first to kill this fiend. Ling Xiao roared with laughter. His black hair fluttered while his gaze was dazzling. He seemed extremely carefree as he slashed the devouring heaven sword towards Oluo. Chapter 281. Even if he was only at the 9th level of the Monarch realm, even if he was facing a devil who possessed the strength of an Exalt, there was only surging battle intent in Ling Xiao's eyes. The air of the wordless heavenly scripture. You deserve death. Oluo stared fixedly at Ling Xiao, and then he suddenly spat out a ray of black divine light from his mouth. It instantly obliterated a mountain in front of him before it shot towards Ling Xiao. 4 elephants strike the heavens. A bright glow flashed through Ling Xiao's eyes as Heaven Devourer swept through space, and then 4 rays of dazzling divine light instantly appeared in the surroundings. The quintessence of earth, water, wind, and fire converged together to form an enormous 4-colored divine sword that slashed down towards Oluo. The 7 Limits technique was a peerless martial technique that Ling Xiao had created in his past life. Every single move possessed the strength to obliterate the world, and its might was multiplied when executed with Heaven Devourer. When Ling Xiao executed the 4 elephants strike the heavens while at the 9th level of the Monarch realm, it was simply incomparable to when he executed it before this. It seemed like it could even obliterate the sky. Bang! The four-colored divine sword slashed against the black divine light, and then peerless light erupted and instantly obliterated the evil aura within it before it continued down towards Mo Luo. Crack! Black lightning flashed as Mo Luo's enormous hammer smashed down towards Ling Xiao. Moreover, it carried a strand of peerless lightning energy, and it was like an ocean of raging lightning. Black devilish light surged, and even the sky was torn apart. Expanses of chaotic energy suffused the surroundings as the boundless ocean of lightning collided with the four-colored divine sword, and they were obliterated at the same time. Swoosh! However, a ray of light rose up from within the obliteration. Ling Xiao was charging over with Heaven Devourer in hand. The light from his sword was like a river of stars, and it illuminated Ling Xiao's icy cold gaze as it slashed down towards Mo Luo's neck. The speed of this sword was too fast. No one could describe the style of this sword, and no one could describe the speed of this sword. A ray of light tore through the sky, and then Heaven Devourer arrived before Mo Luo. Mo Luo was shocked as well, and he instinctively tried to block the attack with his enormous hammer. Bang! However, the demon Buddha attacked at this moment. An enormous palm descended while emanating Buddhist light, and it was like a myriad of Buddhas were paying homage to their ancestors. It instantly slapped the hammer, and it caused lightning to cover the sky. The demon Buddha's timing was very good. He blocked Mara's giant hammer and created the best opportunity for Ling Xiao. Puff! The Sky Devourer sword slashed across Mo Luo's massive head, causing an endless amount of black-colored blood to spray out. Mo Luo's head was nearly chopped off by soaring firmaments. Roar! Mo Luo roared furiously. Black light rose from his body as demonic aura filled the sky. His blood turned into tens of thousands of divine weapons. Like a sea of weapons, they shot toward Ling Xiao. Furthermore, there was a terrifying baleful aura within the strange black fog. It was as if it could turn one into a monster that only knew how to kill. 5 elements heaven sealing style kill. Ling Xiao did not retreat. A cold light flashed in his eyes, and the sky-devouring sword in his hand changed again. Countless sword lights exploded in the air, forming a strange sword domain that cut through the sea of weapons around him. Wang. Although Ling Xiao did not let the wordless heavenly book rush out of his sea of consciousness, he let the wordless heavenly book emit a bright divine light, and began to devour the strange black fog. The sky-devouring sword light swept across the void, stirring up the heavens with an unparalleled force. At the same time, it devoured all the energy in the world, forming an absolute vacuum around Mo Luo. Explode! A cold voice rang out from Ling Xiao's mouth. Instantly, the world turned upside down and the void shattered. The divine light storm formed by the 5 elements heaven sealing style shattered along with the void, engulfing Mo Luo in the middle. Rumble! Accompanied by a furious roar, Mo Luo's body trembled violently as he charged out of the storm. Countless wounds appeared all over his body. Black blood dripped down, corroding the earth and causing the plants to wither and die instantly, turning into nothingness. All of you are going to die. Mo Luo glared at Ling Xiao and the demonic Buddha furiously. Perhaps it was because he had been suppressed for 10,000 years that his brain was not working well. His entire body was shrouded in killing intent and anger. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed with a sharp light as he charged toward Mo Luo with the sky-devouring sword in his hand. On the other side, the demonic Buddha stood on a lotus. 108 Bodhi pearls shone brightly as they suppressed Mo Luo. Outside the 8 Desolation secret zone, Xiaolong, Guanhu Yongkue, and Ji Ro were originally sitting cross-legged at the exit, using their powerful strength to support the exit of the 8 Desolation secret zone. However, at this moment, they suddenly felt a terrifying aura coming from the 8 Desolation secret zone, causing their expressions to change drastically. What's going on? Xiaolong's eyes revealed a hint of seriousness. Brother Xiaolong, could it be that there's some great danger in the 8 Desolation secret zone? Jiro's eyes flashed. That terrifying aura was so terrifying that even Sky Human stage experts felt fear. Clearly, it was extremely terrifying. Guanhu sneered and said, "What great danger can there be? The few martial Dao Holy Lands have already scouted the 8 Desolation secret zone. There's no danger in it. Even if there's a great danger, I think it's because the people of your Great Desolation ancient country are too unlucky. I'm afraid all 9 of you have died in the mouths of demonic beasts. Ah. Guanhu, you better watch your mouth. I'm afraid that the ones who will die in the end will be the people of your great desolation ancient country. Xiaolong snorted coldly. All right. Stop quarreling. Look at the time. The Yinyang Valley has only been open for a day. Even if they come out, it will still take a few more days. We must be thinking too much. Yang Kuei carefully sensed and found that the terrifying aura had disappeared. He quickly persuaded them with a smile. Boom. At this moment, a black-robed young man rushed out of the 8 Desolation secret zone. His eyes were filled with incomparable fear. His face was pale and he looked crazy. Ah. All dead, all dead. The black-robed young man roared as he coughed up blood. His entire body was trembling. It was obvious that he was terrified to the extreme. Sun Ming? What's going on? Why are you the only one who came out? Where are the others? Yang Kuei's eyes flashed. He instantly recognized the black-robed young man. He was the genius of the Great Desolation ancient country, Sun Ming. At this moment, all of them should still be cultivating in the Yinyang Valley. Why would they come out? Looking at Sun Ming's miserable appearance, a bad premonition arose in Yang Kuei's heart. Sun Ming calmed down a little. However, his eyes were still filled with fear. He said, everyone is dead. Senior brother Hong Sha, senior brother Zhang Kai. The people of our Great Desolation ancient country are all dead. Some were killed by Ling Xiao. Some died in the strange black fog. The strange black fog is too terrifying. Sun Ming was incoherent. However, Yang Kuei's expression changed drastically. Hong Sha and the others are all dead? What's going on? Especially Hong Sha's identity. Thinking of the consequences of Hong Sha's death, even Yang Kuei could not help but tremble. You tell me clearly. How did Hong Sha and the others die? Who is Ling Xiao? What is the strange black fog? Yang Kuei slapped Sun Ming. His expression was extremely gloomy. His eyes flickered with a cold light as if he was about to devour someone. Chapter 282. Ling Xiao is from the Great Barren Ancient Kingdom. He killed Senior Hong Sha, Huang Yunji and Sun Feng in the Yinyang pool and took away all the Yinyang baleful qi. Sun Ming's face swelled up after being slapped by Yang Huai. His eyes regained their clarity as he recounted what happened in the Yinyang pool. At this moment, the entrance of the 8 Desolation secret zone flashed, and a few more figures appeared. Their eyes were filled with fear. Ling Qingqing, Li Chengfeng, Xia Hongxiu, Chen Fengdao, Ji Shuiyao, and 2 other genius disciples from the Great Barren Ancient Kingdom. Hongxiu, you're back? Why are there only a few of you? Where are the others? Xiaolong was pleasantly surprised when he saw Xia Hongxiu and the others. He quickly walked over and asked. They're all dead. All dead. Royal uncle, quickly go and save Ling Xiao. You must save him. Xia Hongxiu's expression was gloomy. She suddenly raised her head and looked at Xiaolong with an anxious and pleading expression. Aunt, quickly go and save Ling Xiao. If it wasn't for him, we would have died in the 8 Desolation secret zone. He's the benefactor of the entire Great Barren Ancient Kingdom. On the other side, Ji Shuiyao also looked at Ji Ro anxiously. Ah? Ling Xiao, that little bastard, he deserves to die. After hearing Sun Ming's words, Yang Kuei and Guanhu went crazy. Their eyes were filled with anger and killing intent as they stared at Ling Qingqing, Ji Shuiyao, and the others. What are you doing? Guanhu, Yang Huai, I advise you not to act recklessly. Xiaolong and Ji Ro's expressions changed when they saw Yang Huai and Guanhu's madness. They took a step back and protected Ling Qingqing, Ji Shuiyao, and the others. Ling Xiao killed people from the Great Barren Ancient Kingdom. All of you have to pay with your lives. All of you deserve to die. Guanhu and Yang Huai approached step by step with blazing killing intent in their eyes. Sun Ming's words struck them as if they were struck by lightning. Ling Xiao was so abnormal? In the Yinyang Valley, he killed 4 experts with his Dragon Tiger Realm cultivation, and came out unscathed. Both of them were shocked and furious. This time, both Great Yellow Ancient Country and Great Flood Ancient Country were completely annihilated. More than half of their people died in the hands of Ling Xiao. Because of this, Guan Hu and Yang Huai immediately directed their anger at the two kingdoms after seeing that there were still people who came out alive. Huang Yunji, Sun Feng, and Hong Xiao want to kill Ling Xiao. Are they not allowing him to resist? You've gone too far. Xia Hongxiu was so angry that her face was flushed red. At the same time, her eyes were filled with anxiety. That strange black fog was too terrifying. Ling Xiao still hadn't come out. Every second wasted meant that Ling Xiao was in more danger. What is Ling Xiao? How can he be compared to our Seventh Highness? Not to mention that he didn't come out. Even if he did, I'll tear him to pieces. Guan Hu gritted his teeth and said. A powerful aura burst out from his body. His eyes flashed with a cold light and his hair fluttered in the wind. He was on the verge of exploding. Xiaolong Jiro, get out of my way. Today, I'll let the geniuses of your two countries die with Hong Sha. Otherwise, we won't rest until one of us is dead. Yang Huai's eyes were gloomy and his heart was filled with rage. Hong Sha's bronze battle body was something that Yang Huai couldn't break apart even if he didn't use the combat strength of a sky being. Ling Xiao was only at the Dragon Tiger realm. How could he kill Hong Sha? He felt like he was in a dream. It was unbelievable. Won't rest until one of us is dead. Do you think we're afraid of you? Xiaolong and Jiro's eyes flashed with cold light as they stood in front of Guan Hu and Yang Huai. Rumble. A terrifying aura burst out. The Sky Being Realm experts controlled the power of heaven and earth, causing the surrounding void to tremble slightly. A great battle was about to break out. Boom. A monstrous black fog gushed out from the entrance of the 8 Desolation secret region. It contained an evil, dark and cold aura, as if it wanted to take away all life. The expressions of the 4 celestial realm cultivators changed drastically, and they felt their hearts trembling. They finally understood the source of the palpitations from before. It turned out that it was because of the strange black fog. However, what was this strange black fog? Crack. As the strange black fog surged, the runes at the entrance of the 8 Desolation secret region were shattered. The 4 tokens instantly turned into dust. With a loud bang, the void shattered. The entrance of the 8 Desolation secret region was completely destroyed. Qing Qing, Xia Hongxiu, and Ji Shuiyao's faces instantly turned pale. Ling Xiao is dead? Ling Xiao died just like that? A voice reverberated in their hearts. They couldn't believe it. However, what happened in front of them clearly told them that the 8 Desolation secret region was completely sealed. Ling Xiao couldn't come out anymore. Moreover, that strange black fog made even celestial realm powerhouses incomparably fearful, so how could Ling Xiao possibly survive? Ling Xiao saved them but sacrificed himself. When they thought of that, they felt a piercing pain in their hearts. Humph. Dying just like that is too easy for him. Even if he doesn't die, I will make him beg for death. Guan Hu's eyes were extremely gloomy as he said coldly. Yang Huai's eyes were gloomy as well. However, when he looked at the strange black fog before him, his eyes were extremely solemn. If what Sun Ming said was true, then there was probably really a terrifying being within the 8 Desolation secret realm. Merely its aura alone caused the hearts of the 4 great heavenly realm experts to palpitate, and it was at least a peerless great calamity at the monarch realm. If such a terrifying being appeared, who in the entire 8 Desolation region would be able to resist it? When he thought of that, Yang Huai instantly lost interest in pursuing the matter with Ling Qingqing and the others. He urgently wanted to return and report this matter. Xiaolong, this matter isn't over. Your great desolation ancient kingdom, just wait for our revenge. Yang Huai glanced gloomily at Xiaolong and snorted coldly. Then he turned around and left hastily with Sun Ming. When Guan Hu saw Yang Huai leave, he knew that it was impossible for him to be a match for Xiaolong and Jiro alone. So he left behind a few words before turning around and leaving. Let's go as well. I'm afraid Ling Xiao is. Xiaolong's eyes were slightly gloomy. Since this young man appeared in the capital, he had erupted with dazzling brilliance. His peerless talent even made the disciples of the martial Dao Holy Lands pale in comparison. But who would have thought that his brilliance would be like a comet that bloomed as soon as it appeared and fell in the 8 Desolation secret region? Li Qingqing and Xia Hongxiu were speechless. Li Qingfeng's eyes were also extremely red. Only Chen Fengdao's eyes revealed a trace of joy. He was probably the happiest person to see Ling Xiao die in the 8 Desolation secret region. Lung Feng, without Ling Xiao as your backing, you will die when I return. Chen Fengdao's eyes revealed a trace of killing intent. Although Li Qingqing, Xia Hongxiu, and Li Chengfeng were unwilling to believe it, the 8 Desolation secret region had been sealed. Moreover, there was that strange black fog wreaking havoc inside. Even a Sky Being realm expert would have died without a doubt. How could Ling Xiao have survived? Chapter 283. Within the 8 desolate secret grounds, Ling Xiao did not know that he was already dead in the eyes of others. Together with the demonic Buddha, he had already exchanged over 1,000 blows with Mo Luo. Even though he had already suppressed Mo Luo firmly, Mo Luo's vitality was way too tenacious. Even though his head was nearly chopped off by Ling Xiao, it did not affect him much. Boom. The ground around them had already caved in. Gigantic mountains were shattered, and rivers flowed down, forming a gigantic lake. Above the void, a creepy black mist spread out, and the heavens trembled. 2 figures could be seen revolving around Mo Luo's gigantic body, bursting forth with unparalleled power. Mo Luo's entire body was filled with wounds. His body that looked like a human was covered in scales. His arms stretched across the sky as though they could lift up mountains. His entire body was emitting a torrential demonic qi. However, Ling Xiao could sense that Mo Luo was in a really weird state. It was as though he was deranged. All he knew was killing and rage, and his intelligence was greatly affected. Boom. Ling Xiao wielded the heaven-devouring sword and became one with it. He turned into a sharp aura that could shatter the world as he slashed down at Mo Luo. The gigantic hammer in Mo Luo's hand was extremely sturdy. Furthermore, it could control the power of thunder. It was extremely powerful. When it clashed with the heaven-devouring sword, it caused a bright flash of light. Buzz. 108 Bodhi pearls fell, and each of them seemed to have a devil Buddha sitting cross-legged on top of them. The Buddha light was vast, illuminating the void. It was eternal and immortal, and had a great magical power that could subdue demons and devils. Mo Luo slapped out with his palm. Even though the black mist was mostly destroyed by the Buddha light, it still slammed onto the Bodhi pearls. Instantly, the demonic light was torrential, wanting to drown the 108 demonic Buddhas. Boom. Each of the 108 demonic Buddhas opened their eyes at the same time. Within their eyes, there were golden flames that streaked across the sky. Like the blazing flames of the sun, they enveloped Mo Luo instantly. Buzz. Ma. And I. Pa. Me. Hum. At this moment, 6 ancient and mysterious syllables were spat out from the mouths of the demonic Buddhas. The entire world seemed to be trembling. A boundless Buddha light filled the sky, turning into a gigantic barrier that imprisoned Mo Luo. 108 demonic Buddhas sat cross-legged in the void all around, chanting Buddhist scriptures. Golden lotuses sprouted from the ground, and flowers rained down from the sky. A golden flame burned fiercely, turning into a golden flame to refine and suppress Mara. Buddhist karmic fire? Ling Xiao's gaze shook as he recognized the supernatural power that the demonic Buddha used. It was the fire of karma of the Buddhist sect. The fire of karma could also be said to be the fire of karma. It contained the power of karma and the truth of fate. Any living being that was tainted by karma and could not escape from fate would turn into nothingness under the fire of karma. Rumble. The Buddhist light in the void was vast, and the chanting of sutras was extremely mysterious. It seemed to have come from the endless space and time, causing the karmic fire to burn even more fiercely. Mo Luo was trapped in the barrier. Karmic fire burned his body and demonic energy surged from his body. Strange black fog surged around him. Although he was screaming in pain from being burned by the karmic fire, Ling Xiao could tell that Mo Luo would not die anytime soon. If that's the case, let me send you on your way. Ling Xiao's eyes revealed a trace of cold light as a mysterious aura exuded from his body. The sky-devouring sword was dazzling as it slowly rose in the void. Ling Xiao's black hair fluttered in the wind, and his eyes were like lightning. There seemed to be 6 mysterious world shadows behind him. The 6 worlds revolved around each other, exuding the concept of reincarnation. It was extremely terrifying. The third style of the 7 limits divine technique of devouring heaven and destroying earth, the 6 paths of reincarnation. This style was too terrifying. It contained a power that could pierce through life and death. Once the sword was unleashed, there would only be death. With the power that Ling Xiao had borrowed, he could only perform one move. After that, Ling Xiao would be exhausted and the borrowed power would disappear. However, Ling Xiao was willing to take the risk. Ling Xiao could tell that although the demonic Buddha was strong and the fire of karma was terrifying, Mo Luo seemed to have an aura that could cut off karma. It would be difficult to kill Mo Luo. Only the 6 paths of reincarnation could kill Mo Luo. Rumble. There was a thunderous boom that seemed to shake the world. The 6 paths of reincarnation behind Ling Xiao radiated with boundless divine force, causing Ling Xiao's aura to rise to the limit. Instantly, the sky-devouring sword soared through the air, heading straight for Mo Luo's forehead. The aura of the 6 paths of reincarnation intertwined. The sky-devouring sword seemed to become illusory at that moment, as if it no longer existed in this world. However, it contained an even more terrifying power, causing Mo Luo's expression to change drastically. He could sense a fatal threat from this move. Boom. Mo Luo struggled with all his might. The barrier of Buddhist light around him trembled violently, as if it would shatter at any moment. However, it was already too late. The sword seemed to be the judgment of the gods, but it also seemed like the power of the underworld king of hell. It pierced through life and death. What it destroyed was not Mo Luo's body, but his life essence. Spurt. The sky-devouring sword instantly shot into Mo Luo's forehead. The illusory sword light seemed very weak, but it contained an extremely terrifying power. Ling Xiao himself did not hesitate at all. He followed the sky-devouring sword and rushed into Mo Luo's forehead. Wang. The wordless heavenly book instantly floated out of Ling Xiao's body, turning into a dazzling light that enveloped Ling Xiao. At the same time, it began to rapidly devour the strange black fog and black blood in Mo Luo's body. Ling Xiao could clearly sense that after the 6 paths of reincarnation slashed down, more than half of Mo Luo's life essence was instantly destroyed. He was already on the verge of death. The full power of the wordless heavenly book instantly shattered Mo Luo's last trace of life. Boom. The light in Mo Luo's eyes dissipated. His huge body collapsed with a loud boom. The earth shook and dust flew everywhere. The demonic Buddha slowly withdrew the 108 Bodhi pearls and the power of the hellfire. Looking at Mo Luo's collapsed body, 2 streams of blood flowed down from his eyes. 1,000,000 years of tribulation. 10,000 Buddhas gathered into Yama. Kill all the heavenly demon generals. Host all spirits. A vast and sorrowful voice came from the demonic Buddha's mouth. He ignored Mo Luo and did not look at Ling Xiao. Instead, he walked towards the distant sky and disappeared into the horizon. Senior demonic Buddha. Are you from 1,000,000 years ago? Although Ling Xiao was in Mo Luo's sea of consciousness, he could still hear the sorrowful voice of the demonic Buddha. His eyes revealed a trace of emotion. The demonic Buddha was a person with a past. Perhaps his origin was related to Mo Luo. Boom. Mo Luo was killed by Ling Xiao, but the strange black fog in his body became the nourishment of the wordless heavenly book. Instantly, a dazzling vortex erupted, wildly devouring the strange energy in Mo Luo's body. Chapter 284. The strange black fog was actually the demonic qi and blood in Mo Luo's body. Through this battle, Ling Xiao realized that Mo Luo might not be from this world. The blood in his body was black and the aura around him was incompatible with this world. Moreover, the demonic Buddha's hellfire did not affect him much. Therefore, it was highly likely that Mo Luo was from another world. Is the so-called calamity an invasion from an outside world? Ling Xiao's eyes revealed a trace of seriousness. The wordless heavenly book turned into a huge whirlpool and exuded a wave of excitement. It began to devour the energy in Mo Luo's body rapidly. After using the 6 paths of reincarnation, Ling Xiao's energy was depleted, and he fell back to the 9th level of the dragon-tiger realm. A sense of weakness surged in his heart, and he was not used to it. Moreover, although the earth dragon's body was strong, it still caused great damage to his physical body after releasing such terrifying energy. The wordless heavenly book devoured the energy in Mo Luo's body, and fed Ling Xiao strands of extremely pure energy. It merged with his consciousness, bloodline, sea of qi, and physical body to repair his damaged body and improve in all aspects. Although Mo Luo was dead, his remaining energy was left behind by a supreme being. It was extremely terrifying. Therefore, the wordless heavenly books devouring this time caused the golden light enveloped by the wordless heavenly book to spread rapidly. Originally, the wordless heavenly book was already 90% filled with golden light. As long as the golden light was completely filled, Ling Xiao would be able to obtain another secret skill. Ling Xiao was looking forward to obtaining the secret skill recorded in the wordless heavenly book. The sky-devouring secret skill was a secret skill that assisted in cultivation, while the ancestral dragon secret skill was a secret skill that cultivated the physical body. For Ling Xiao, it already had such a heaven-defying effect. Ling Xiao desperately wanted to obtain an offensive secret skill. He could imagine that the offensive secret skill in the wordless heavenly book would be extremely powerful, and would not be inferior to the 7 limits divine technique of devouring heaven and destroying earth. What's that? Ling Xiao was seated in Mo Luo's sea of consciousness. He was focused on refining the energy from the wordless heaven sutra. Suddenly he felt a strange ripple. Resplendent light floated out from Mo Luo's sea of consciousness. This is a fragment of Mo Luo's primordial spirit? Ling Xiao shuddered slightly. As a supreme being, Mo Luo's Yuanshen was incredibly strong. Although he was killed by Ling Xiao's 6 paths reincarnation, his Yuanshen was not completely destroyed. Mo Luo's imprint had already vanished from the soul fragments, but they still gave off a sinister, dark presence. Maybe I can find Jin Sei's whereabouts from these soul fragments. Ling Xiao's eyes widened as he hurriedly executed the heaven-devouring secret technique. The heaven-devouring golden lotus emitted a bright light as it flew towards the primordial spirit fragment. These Yuanshen fragments contained evil demonic qi. They had to be thoroughly cleansed and turned into the purest Yuanshen energy before Ling Xiao dared to devour them. The sky-devouring golden lotus was even more miraculous than the sky-devouring spirit seed. Not only could it devour different types of Zhen qi, but it could also devour the power of the primordial spirit. The sky-devouring golden lotus could devour anything. Wang. The sky-devouring golden lotus emitted a dazzling golden glow. A golden rainbow swept a piece of the primordial spirit fragment over. Strands of light flickered as it began to devour the demonic qi and black mist within. Under Ling Xiao's guidance, the black light on the primordial spirit fragment quickly faded away. It became white, flawless and crystal clear. Ling Xiao carefully reached out with his spiritual energy, and instantly pulled the primordial spirit fragment over to him. He began to devour it. A powerful spiritual energy spread out. The golden figure in Ling Xiao's sea of consciousness seemed to have eaten a great tonic. It began to solidify and expand. At the same time, a memory imprint appeared in Ling Xiao's mind. These memory imprints were the most precious to Ling Xiao. Therefore, he only kept the memory imprint in the primordial spirit fragment. He removed the rest. Rumble. The sky trembled as tens of thousands of creatures cried. A monstrous figure descended from the 9 heavens, exuding an unparalleled demonic aura. He opened his mouth, causing clouds and mist to rise. Countless humans flew into his mouth and were devoured by him. The primordial spirit fragment recorded the scene of Mo Luo descending to this world and devouring all living beings. It also proved that Mo Luo was not from this world. Nothing. Ling Xiao's eyes were filled with coldness. He was filled with killing intent towards these outer realm beings. However, he was slightly disappointed that he didn't find any memories related to Jin Sei. Next one. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed, and the sky-devouring golden lotus approached another primordial spirit fragment. The sky-devouring golden lotus cleansed the fragments of Mo Luo's demonic aura before devouring and refining them. The memories that Ling Xiao saw of Mo Luo were fragmented as well. Moreover, they were all memories of Mo Luo after he had descended into this world. He did not know anything about Mo Luo's origins. Ling Xiao saw it as well. The human experts called Mo Luo and the others Outerium celestial demons. Outerium celestial demons were divided into 1-star celestial demons to 9-star celestial demons. Celestial demons were illusory figures without physical bodies. They relied on their powerful spiritual energy to confuse and kill. 1-star celestial demons corresponded to the meridian opening realm of the human race, 8-star celestial demons corresponded to the monarch realm, and 9-star celestial demons corresponded to the half-exalt realm. Above celestial demons were celestial demon generals. They were comparable to supremes and were extremely powerful. Based on the number of stars in their eyes, they were also divided into 1-star celestial demon generals to 9-star celestial demon generals. Above 9-star celestial demon generals were celestial demon kings. They were comparable to titled supremes and stood at the peak of human Tao. They looked down on the world and were extremely powerful. Emolua was a celestial demon king. He had invaded the war god continent 10,000 years ago. In the end, he was severely injured and sealed for 10,000 years. Where is Jinsei? Ling Xiao was slightly anxious. He had devoured so many primordial spirit fragments, but he still hadn't found Jinsei's whereabouts. His gaze landed on the last primordial spirit fragment. It was also the largest one. I hope it won't disappoint me again. Ling Xiao took a deep breath and began to devour the last primordial spirit fragment. As the pure primordial spirit energy merged with Ling Xiao's consciousness, a grand picture scroll appeared in front of Ling Xiao's eyes. Rumble. Under the vast sky, the mountains were resplendent. Auspicious chi rose. This was the Changsun sect from 10,000 years ago. They had thousands of spiritual mountains and millions of disciples. Emo Luo descended from the 9 heavens. Demonic chi shrouded the Changsun sect. Countless celestial demons and celestial demon generals descended and engaged in a life and death battle with the people of the Changsun sect. Countless disciples of the Changsun sect were assimilated by the strange black fog. They turned into monsters that only knew how to kill. They turned around and charged at their friends and family. Endless cries, screams, and sorrowful voices resounded throughout the world. The entire Changsun sect and even the 8 Desolates region fell into a calamity. Chapter 285. Brothers, Eternal Great Emperor, has been updated for 3 months and 600,000 words. It's finally going to be published. Being published means that you have to pay for it. Other books only cost 300,000 to 400,000 words, but our Eternal Great Emperor is 600,000 words free. This is the result of Mu Yu's hard work with the editor. If it's not published, the editor will go berserk. First, let's answer a few questions I often see in the comments section. 1. Why do you have to pay for it? The website needs to operate and the author needs to eat. Brothers, think about it. Even your family's old cattle needs to be fed before they can work. If the author keeps updating for free, how can he feed his family? The website will probably close down long ago. There are free periods for a book, but there are also times when it's published. 2. How do you charge for it? Can it be cheaper? The price is set by the website. The author has no say. To be specific, it was 5 cents per 1,000 words. Twilight Rain would only be able to update a chapter with over 2,000 words, which was 10 cents per chapter. 10 cents per chapter was already very cheap. For this reason, Twilight Rain would have to think hard about the plot and work hard for more than an hour to write one chapter. She would have to sit in front of the computer for 4 to 5 hours to update 3 chapters a day. Muyu updates a month. Everyone only needs to spend a few dollars to buy drinks and snacks. So it's already very cheap. 3. How do I subscribe to Eternal Great Emperor? Everyone could read Eternal Emperor on QQ Reading app and Genesis Chinese Network. Book coins could be purchased through WeChat, Alipay, bank cards, and Qcoins. 1 renminbi was equivalent to 100 book coins. For example, the 10 chapters of Tomorrow Evening Rain only cost 100 book coins. The quality of a book depends on the number of subscriptions. So Muyu hopes that everyone can support the original book. If everyone pays a small amount of money to subscribe, Muyu will be happy and passionate. Eternal Great Emperor will be better and more exciting. Why not? Muyu was an office worker. She went to work during the day and went home at night to write. She sacrificed all her time for entertainment and rest. Our book, Eternal Great Emperor, was written by Muyu on a quiet night while she was typing on the keyboard. Seeing the comments of many brothers encouraging Muyu, I'm really touched and happy. I was touched because I got to know such a group of cute brothers, but I was also happy because my book was recognized by everyone. Therefore, Muyu would definitely give everyone a blood-boiling, fantastical, and magnificent Eastern fantasy world with even more enthusiasm. Here, Muyu wanted to thank many people. First of all, it was her brothers such as Long Qijuan, Doraemon, Long Tung Huyu, Qianyi, God Sky Army, Meng Er, God Sky Army, Longzi, Strange Uncle, God Sky Army, Ling Xiao, Little Fan. Too many brothers and sisters. It was because of your support that Eternal Great Emperor became better and better. Secondly, I would like to thank Chief Editor Taishan and Chief Editor Tiger. If it weren't for your recommendations, Eternal Emperor wouldn't have achieved such good results. Finally, I want to thank myself for persevering, for being willing to work hard and fight for a better life. Brothers, Ling Xiao's journey has already begun. The Eight Desolates region is only his starting point. He still has to travel across the War God continent, dominate the myriad worlds, find Jin Sei, find the supreme true dragon for revenge, and start a blood-boiling era, a legend that belongs only to Ling Xiao. Did Ling Xiao find Jin Sei among the fragments of his primordial spirit? What would be the next secret technique that Ling Xiao would obtain? Ling Xiao was about to return to the capital. What kind of blood-boiling moment would he experience? Everything will be revealed in the 10 chapters that will explode tomorrow. Starting from noon tomorrow, 10 chapters will explode. Are you guys ready? I'm ready. Chapter 286. Clang. A dazzling sword radiance soared into the sky like a heavenly river, slashing at the towering Mo Luo. It was a woman in white with an extraordinary temperament. Her face was cold as she fought Mo Luo with the heaven-devouring sword in her hand. Jin Sei, is that you? Ling Xiao trembled slightly as his eyes turned red. The figure that he had yearned for day and night had finally appeared in front of him again. Although it still felt surreal, Ling Xiao was still incomparably excited. Rumble. Countless spiritual mountains in Changsun sect were reduced to dust as countless disciples died in the catastrophe. Jin Sei wielded the heaven-devouring sword and unleashed an unparalleled sword intent. She unleashed a power that could shake the sky as she attacked Mo Luo. This battle was extremely tragic. Mountains collapsed and the sky shattered. Jin Sei started coughing up blood towards the end. Her white robe was dyed red with blood, but the battle intent in her eyes was still strong. The entire 8 Desolation region fell into a catastrophe. Ling Xiao could see thousands of spirits crying as mountains and rivers crumbled. Countless human experts died in battle, while the endless heavenly demons descended from the 9 heavens to unleash a bloody catastrophe. Many scenes couldn't be seen clearly anymore. Ling Xiao's gaze seemed to be able to see through 10,000 years of time and space. He saw the delicate figure who killed billions of heavenly demons alone, and fought against Mo Luo. She didn't wait for Ling Xiao's return, but the invasion of heavenly demons, the catastrophe of 8 Desolation region, and the bloody dusk of billions of lives. Mo Luo was suppressed in the end. However, Jin Sei also paid a heavy price. Her white robe had turned blood red and her beautiful face was extremely pale. Jin Sei used her unparalleled divine force to mobilize the power of the 8 Desolation dragon veins, and set up the 8 Desolation demon suppression formation, to suppress the heavily injured Mo Luo. She also used an ancient monk's golden body as the eye of the formation. The heaven-devouring sword was also left behind on top of Mo Luo's head. It used its supreme sword intent to grind away at Mo Luo's primordial spirit, so that he would never be able to rise again. The memories in Mo Luo's primordial spirit were very fragmented. Ling Xiao could only see that Jin Sei looked deeply in the direction of Changsun sect. Her haggard gaze made Ling Xiao's heart ache. In the end, Jin Sei tore open the sky dome, and stepped on an ancient path to the heavens, disappearing forever. The ancient road to heaven faintly led to a mysterious world. It seemed to be an ancient continent, but it also seemed to be an eternal and indestructible god realm. Jins went to the war god continent? Or did he go to the god realm? Ling Xiao's eyes trembled, revealing a look of incomparable anticipation. If Jinsei finally broke through to the Supreme God realm and obtained eternal life, perhaps Ling Xiao would still be able to see her. Jinsei, wait for me. The scene before Ling Xiao's eyes disappeared as the last fragment of the soul was completely devoured and refined by him. The extremely pure power of the soul merged with Ling Xiao's sea of consciousness, becoming a part of the golden soul. Rumble. Ling Xiao abruptly opened his eyes, and a boundless aura rose from his body. Even though most of Mo Luo's energy had been devoured by the wordless heavenly scripture, and only a small portion of it had been returned to Ling Xiao, the tremendous energy was as vast as the ocean. It immediately pushed Ling Xiao's cultivation to skyrocket. 9th level of the Dragon Tiger Realm. 10th level of the Dragon Tiger Realm, Perfection. Grandmaster Realm. In just a few moments, Ling Xiao's aura had broken through 2 realms. A kind of connection between heaven and earth spread out, indicating that Ling Xiao had completely entered the Grandmaster Realm. After reaching the Grandmaster Realm, Ling Xiao did not continue to increase his cultivation. Instead, he allowed the wordless heavenly scripture to devour all the energy. This is the true martial path primordial spirit. In Ling Xiao's sea of consciousness, a 9-inch tall soul sat cross-legged, radiating a dazzling golden light. It was extremely mysterious. After devouring Mo Luo's soul fragment, Ling Xiao's spiritual energy also skyrocketed. The 1-inch tall soul fragment had completely condensed into a martial path primordial spirit. It sat cross-legged in the void of his sea of consciousness, illuminating the world and controlling his own soul. The condensation of the martial path primordial spirit also meant that Ling Xiao's spiritual energy had officially entered the alchemy Grandmaster realm, comparable to those in the noble realm. From now on, the most difficult stage on the path to the noble realm had been passed. Ling Xiao's cultivation path would be smooth from now on. If others knew about this, they would probably be scared to death. He had condensed a martial path primordial spirit at LV1 of the Grandmaster realm. Even the most dazzling geniuses would admit that they were not as talented as him. Along with the risk came great fortune. After all, Mo Luo was once a heavenly demon king who was comparable to a titled celestial being. Even though he had been suppressed for 10,000 years and his cultivation had weakened to the extreme, he was still a celestial being. It was because of the wordless heavenly tome that Ling Xiao was able to obtain such a great fortune. Buzz. Just then, the wordless heavenly scripture began to buzz and tremble. The originally plain wordless heavenly scripture was now completely enveloped in a golden light. A mysterious scripture slowly emerged from the wordless heavenly scripture. Has the wordless heavenly scripture finally been completed? Ling Xiao's eyes widened in shock. A look of great anticipation appeared in his eyes. According to Ling Xiao's guess, the wordless heavenly scripture should have recorded 108 secret skills. All of them were supreme martial arts that could shock the world and dominate the universe. However, the wordless heavenly scripture was too damaged. It had to devour a large amount of energy to reappear the secret skills within. Mo Luo was a heavenly demon king. The wordless heavenly scripture had devoured all of Mo Luo's power. Finally, a page of the heavenly scripture was completed. It was about to reveal a supreme secret skill. Ling Xiao was very much looking forward to it. The sky-devouring secret skill and the ancestral dragon secret skill were secret skills that could assist in cultivation, and the secret skill of the physical body. Ling Xiao was more looking forward to an offensive secret skill. However, he was not sure how the secret skill in the wordless heavenly scripture would manifest. He was also not sure what the secret skill would be. Buzz. The wordless heavenly scripture trembled slightly. Then a page of the heavenly scripture opened. A few ancient golden words appeared on it. Heavenly Spirit Realm number 23, Secret Skill of Shifting. Secret Skill of Shifting? Is it a secret skill about speed? Ling Xiao was slightly disappointed. It was not the offensive secret skill that he was looking forward to. However, when his primordial spirit sank into the heavenly scripture and finished reading the mysterious scripture, a look of surprise appeared in his eyes. This secret skill recorded that the secret skill of shifting was the fastest secret skill in all the heavens. When cultivated to the extreme, not only could one travel through the void, but they could also shift the endless sand world. It was extremely powerful. However, from the content of the secret skill of shifting was indeed very abnormal. It could be said to be a life-saving trump card. Chapter 287. After devouring a heavenly demon king, the 23rd Heavenly Dipper Realm secret art appeared. The price to pay for this secret art is really high. Ling Xiao smiled bitterly. The 23rd Heavenly Dipper Realm secret art wasn't considered high. It couldn't even be compared to his heavenly devouring secret art. If the wordless heavenly book needed to devour a heavenly demon king to appear, wouldn't it mean that he would need to devour a true god to obtain the top 10 secret arts? Ling Xiao was extremely lucky to have the wordless heavenly book devour Mo Luo. Otherwise, it would take him a long time to gather the terrifying energy of the wordless heavenly book. Now it seems that if I can find the incomplete secret art, the wordless heavenly book's energy consumption will be very small. It seems that this is the only way to obtain the secret art in the future. Ling Xiao thought to himself. Mo Luo's corpse had already turned into fine powder. Ling Xiao slowly stood up and a powerful aura spread out, causing the surrounding void to tremble slightly. The entire 8 desolate secret land had been destroyed. The surrounding mountains had collapsed, the earth was torn apart, and countless towering ancient trees had withered, turning the place into a desolate land. I wonder how long it took me to devour and refine Mo Luo's corpse. I wonder if Sister Qingqing and the others managed to escape? Ling Xiao's eyes revealed a trace of worry. When he was devouring and refining Mo Luo's corpse, he had forgotten about the time and everything else. He thought of the 1-month life or death battle in the Wanshou sect. Ling Xiao could see that the Wanshou sect was actually stalling for time. After all, the Wanshou sect was very far away from the Great Desolation Ancient Kingdom. I hope I can still make it if I go back now, Ling Xiao thought to himself. The heavenly devouring sword turned into a ray of light, and flew into Ling Xiao's Dantian Qi Si to be nourished. His entire body turned into a ray of light, and rapidly flew towards the exit of the 8 desolate secret land. Although the exit of the 8 desolate secret land had been destroyed, Ling Xiao naturally knew how to activate the 8 desolate devil suppression grand array. Hence, he was able to leave the secret land easily. Sister Qingqing and the others might have returned to the capital. Ling Xiao guessed. However, there was a sense of worry in his heart as he quickly flew towards the Great Desolation Ancient Kingdom. Although they arrived very quickly, that was because the Black Eagle possessed extreme speed. With Ling Xiao's own cultivation, he was still unable to reach the speed of the Black Eagle, which could travel 50,000 kilometers in a day. Ling Xiao comprehended the secret art of teleportation while he was on his way back. Because it was the secret art. Because it was related to the laws of the heavens and earth's void energy. Only those in the Grandmaster realm could begin to comprehend the power of heaven and earth. And only then were they qualified to comprehend the secret art of shifting. Teleportation. Teleportation. To travel. Ling Xiao hurried on his journey without stopping. He was covered in dust and finally returned to the capital on the 3rd day. And day was to be. Ling Xiao walked towards the gates of the capital city, and saw a few armored warriors inspecting the people entering the city. Their gazes were as sharp and cold as an eagle's. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he felt that something was wrong. The gate of the capital was guarded by the city guards. The city guards were part of the royal guards, and were under the command of Meng Ao. They wore the same black armor and held the Kailan war flag. However, these soldiers wore green armor and carried the green serpent flag. If Ling Xiao remembered correctly, the green serpent army was under the command of Chen Weishan. Why would they take over the city gate defense? Ling Xiao frowned. Could it be that something had happened in the capital? Just as Ling Xiao was about to enter the capital, the Green Wyrem army noticed Ling Xiao, especially the leader. After seeing Ling Xiao, a trace of shock appeared in his eyes. The leader exchanged a few words with the soldier of the Green Serpent army, and was about to leave. A cold glint flashed in Ling Xiao's eyes. He immediately flew to the side of the commander and grabbed him by the shoulder. How dare you? Put down the leader. The Green Dragon army soldiers were stunned. They immediately drew their weapons and roared at Ling Xiao with murderous looks on their faces. What are you trying to do? The commander was only at the 6th level of the Dragon Tiger realm. How could he be a match for Ling Xiao? Instantly, he was unable to move. He looked at Ling Xiao with a hint of panic in his eyes. You know me? Why did you run when you saw me? Ling Xiao asked indifferently. The leader swallowed his saliva and said, Young hero, you must be joking. How would I know you? I didn't want to run. It's time for us to change shifts. That's why I left. The leader's eyes flickered as he looked around. You're really dishonest. Ling Xiao sneered and exerted force with his fingers. A strong force came and the leader felt a piercing pain as he started to howl. Are you going to talk? If you don't, you can die. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed with cold killing intent. Looking at the Green Serpent army and the leader who wanted to leave after seeing Ling Xiao knew that something had happened in the capital. Young Master Ling, please spare my life. I'll talk. The leader was sweating profusely from the pain and quickly begged for mercy. Ling Xiao loosened his grip, and the commander told Ling Xiao everything that had happened in the capital with a long face. After Ling Xiao left the capital, it was said that the imperial advisor, Pure Yang spiritual master, and the Great Desolation King went into seclusion. The 9th Prince Xia Yunran took the opportunity to collude with Great General Chen Weishan and some of the civil and military officials to seize control of the capital. They announced that the Great Desolation King had passed away and killed the first Prince Xia Yunjie, preparing to ascend the throne. As for those who refused to submit to Xia Yunran, they either died mysteriously or surrendered to Xia Yunran at the last moment. The entire Great Desolation Ancient Kingdom had undergone a huge change. Although Meng Ao was the great commander of the royal army, he was injured and had been recuperating in the Demon King's mansion. Xia Yunran instigated a few of the royal army's leaders to rebel, causing the royal army to be divided. A portion of the royal army joined Xia Yunran, while another portion of the royal army and 300 Tiger Camp soldiers were loyal to Meng Ao. They were all in the Demon King's mansion, confronting Chen Weishan and the others. Xia Yunran actually dared to rebel? This brat is really courting death. Ling Xiao's eyes revealed a trace of coldness. He didn't know why Xia Yunran was so stupid. After all, he was the one who refined the soul-returning pill. Xia Huang, Ling Juechen, and Pure Yang spiritual master would probably come out of seclusion soon. When the 3 noble realm experts came out, even the martial arts sacred grounds would have to treat them with caution. Xia Yunran was simply courting death. The leader carefully glanced at Ling Xiao and continued. The 9th prince was worried that you would come back, so he ordered us to patrol the gates of the capital. If we find any news about you, we have to report it immediately. I didn't expect Xia Yunran to be so afraid of me. Should I feel honored? Let me ask you, did Ling Qingqing, Xia Hongxiu, and Li Chengfeng return to the capital? Chapter 288. The 3 of them came back 7 days ago, but as soon as they returned, Ling Qingqing and Xia Hongxiu were put under house arrest by the 9th prince. I don't know where Li Chengfeng went either. The commander replied honestly. Good, very good. Xia Yunran must have eaten a bear's heart and leopard's guts. Do you know where Ling Qingqing and Xia Hongxiu are imprisoned? A cold glint flashed across Ling Xiao's eyes as he spoke slowly. I'm just a guard, how would I know? But, the commander said with a wry smile and a hesitant look appeared on his face. Ling Xiao said impatiently, but what? Spit it out. I heard that something happened at the Demon King's residence. The commander shrunk his head and looked at Ling Xiao fearfully. Something happened at the Demon King's residence? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed with murderous intent, a bad feeling rising in his heart. Some of the Imperial Army elites in Huban Camp have joined Meng Ao and are guarding the residence. Even the 9th prince can't do anything about it. However, I heard that Commander Meng Ao, Governor Lu Xiongfei, Master Jiaomu, Sky Sword Li Ling, and many of the Ling family's clansmen have been assassinated. The commander gritted his teeth and spilled everything. Assassinated. A cold murderous intent spread from Ling Xiao's body, causing the commander to tremble and turn pale. Meng Ao and Lu Xiongfei were loyal to Ling Zhen and had taken care of Ling Xiao a lot. In Ling Xiao's eyes, they were like family to him. Master Jiaomu was Ling Xiao's in-name disciple. Although he had become Ling Xiao's disciple to learn alchemy, He was willing to work hard for Ling Xiao. In addition, Li Ling had already become an elder of the longevity sect. These people were the closest to Ling Xiao in the royal capital. Why would they be assassinated? Could it be that they were implicated by Ling Xiao? Was it the ninth prince or the Wanshou sect? Ling Xiao's eyes were cold as he immediately thought of the ninth prince and the Wanshou sect. However, the commander didn't know about this either. Go tell Xia Yunran that I Ling Xiao am back. Tell him to take good care of Ling Qingqing and Xia Hongxiu. If they lose a single strand of hair, I'll take his head. Ling Xiao glanced at the commander and said coldly. Then he quickly flew in the direction of the Demon King's residence. The commander carefully glanced at Ling Xiao. When he realized that Ling Xiao was already far away, he quickly turned around and ran towards the imperial city from another route. Demon Lord Jinyao's residence. The atmosphere in the majestic and solemn mansion was very tense. Imperial guards in black armor stood in the mansion with bows, swords, spears and other weapons in their hands. Their eyes were cold as they faced off against the group of soldiers outside. At this moment, the palace of Demon King was surrounded by the Green Dragon Army. The Green Dragon Army's warriors all had powerful auras and a murderous aura. They stared coldly at the palace of Demon King's palace without saying a word. In front of the Green Dragon Army stood a group of powerful figures. They were both young and old, and all of them sneered as they looked at the Demon King manor. There were two people in the lead. One of them was a dignified old man in a black robe. His cultivation had reached level 9 of the Grandmaster realm. Standing beside the old man was a handsome young man in brocade clothes. He had an arrogant look on his face as he looked coldly at the Demon King manor. Clansmen of the Ling family, I'll give you one more chance. If you're willing to submit to me, then quickly open the door. Otherwise, when the Demon King manor breaks down, there won't be any survivors. The dignified old man sneered. His voice spread throughout the entire Demon King manor. If Ling Xiao was here, he would be able to recognize that this dignified old man was the former great elder of the Ling family, Ling Yunxiang. Ling Yunxiang, you still have the face to come to the Demon King manor? I didn't expect you to submit to the Wanshou sect and be willing to be their dog. How dare you call yourself a member of the Ling family? The little prince has already made your name out of the Ling family's genealogy. Get lost or I'll kill you. In the Demon King manor, Meng Ao stood on the watchtower. He looked very pale, but his eyes were filled with rage and killing intent. Originally, Ling Yunxiang and Ling Tianxi had died in the Demon King manor, and they were killed by people from the underworld. But now they were alive and well. Even Meng Ao couldn't figure it out. But Ling Yunxiang really did appear here, which could only mean one thing. The person who died earlier wasn't Ling Yunxiang. The scheme of substituting one person for another. Thinking of this, Meng Ao felt a chill in his heart. Ling Yunxiang faked his death to escape, which meant that there was an unfathomably powerful force behind him. Meng Ao, that little bastard Ling Xiao is already dead. The entire imperial city is now the ninth prince's world. The ninth prince will ascend to the throne soon. If you continue to resist, you'll die without a burial place. Clansmen of the Ling family, do you want to be exterminated along with him? Ling Yunxiang sneered. His gaze fell on the Ling family clansmen beside Meng Ao. The Ling family clansmen who stayed in the Demon King manor were all selected by Ling Xiao. They didn't commit any major crimes, and were willing to draw a clear line with Ling Yunxiang. However, the news of Ling Xiao's death in the 8 Desolation secret realm had spread throughout the royal capital. The Demon King's mansion had been besieged by the Green Flood Dragon army for so long, so all the clansmen of the Ling clan were in a panic. Hearing Ling Yunxiang's words, the Ling family clansmen were in an uproar. Their eyes were filled with struggle. Ling Xiao didn't spread the news of Ling Yunxiang and Ling Tianxi's deaths, so most of the Ling family clansmen didn't know that Ling Yunxiang and Ling Tianxi were dead. They thought that the two of them had escaped. Don't listen to Ling Yunxiang's nonsense. The little prince won't die. He'll be back soon. When that time comes, Ling Yunxiang will die. Moreover, Xia Yunran rebelled against his superiors, which is a major crime. When the king comes out of seclusion, it will be his death. Meng Ao's cold gaze swept across the Ling family clansmen as he spoke loudly. Currently, There were less than 1,000 people in the imperial army, and the 300 Huban camp who were loyal to Meng Ao. However, the Green Dragon army outside had more than 10,000 people. There were also more than 1,000 Ling family clansmen in the Demon King Manor. Among them, there was no lack of experts with high cultivation. If these people were to be incited by Ling Yunxiang, the consequences would be unimaginable. Ah! Meng Ao, you're about to die, and you still dare to boast so shamelessly? You're just a piece of trash now. If you dare to come out, I'll definitely kill you. Ling family clansmen, I advise you to think clearly. In a moment, I'll give the order to attack. If you don't make the right choice, then don't blame me for not caring about our relationship. Ling Yunxiang sneered. Behind him stood dozens of Ling family clansmen. They were all people who were purged by Ling Xiao in the Demon King Manor. Now they had all surrendered to Ling Yunxiang. Hearing Ling Yunxiang's words, they also began to shout at the Ling family clansmen in the Demon King Manor. Quickly surrender. If you follow the Great Elder, you won't be mistreated. The 9th prince has already promised. Once he ascends the throne, the Great Elder will be the Demon King Zhengyao. At that time, you won't be lacking in glory and wealth. The Demon King Manor is our Ling family's territory. When did Meng Ao become the master? Ling Xiao is already dead, and the Great Elder is now the master of the Ling family. Could it be that you want to betray the Ling family? Come out. As long as you come out, the Great Elder will let bygones be bygones. Behind Ling Yunxiang, the Ling family clansmen began to shout with all their might. Within the Demon King Manor, the commotion among the Ling family clansmen became more and more intense. Everyone's eyes revealed signs of struggle and desire. Chapter 289. They were very clear about the current situation of the Demon King's mansion. The most powerful heavenly sword Li Ling, Great Master Jiao Mu, Meng Ao, and Lu Xiongfei were all heavily injured. Moreover, how could a mere 1,000 imperial guards resist the Green Dragon army and Ling Yunxiang? Meng Ao's heart skipped a beat when he saw this, and his eyes revealed a trace of bitterness. If there were really members of the Ling family who had defected, it would be one disaster after another for the Demon King's manor. Young master, where are you? I'm useless, and I won't be able to defend the Devil Mansion. Meng Ao sighed in his heart, but his eyes revealed a trace of determination. He had decided that even if he died in battle, he would not let Ling Yunxiang succeed. He firmly believed that Ling Xiao would return. When Ling Xiao returned, it would be the death of Ling Yunxiang. Young master, the clansmen of the Ling family are already tempted. Once they panic, we can easily take down the Demon King's mansion. Ling Yunxiang looked at the brocade-robed young man beside him and smiled flatteringly. Very good, you've done well. Today we must take down the Devil Mansion. As long as we capture Meng Ao, Lu Xiongfei, Master Jiao Mu, and Li Ling, even if Ling Xiao is not dead, he will be obedient. The brocade-robed young man smiled faintly, and his eyes revealed a trace of victory. The brocade-robed young man was called He Fong, and he was the son of the Thousand Beasts sect's elder He Qing. This time, he followed the Thousand Beasts sect's first true disciple to the Imperial City for a life-and-death battle with Ling Xiao, but he did not expect Ling Xiao to die in the 8 desolate secret zone. He Qing privately told He Fong that Ling Xiao had a supreme inheritance, and it was very likely that he was not dead. Therefore, he asked him to take down the Devil Mansion and capture Meng Ao, Lu Xiongfei, Master Jiao Mu, and Li Ling. These 4 people would definitely be able to make Ling Xiao hesitate. Although He Qing did not know why he believed that Ling Xiao was not dead, to be able to defeat Shi Tianluo, who was at the 6th level of the Grandmaster realm, this terrifying talent was beyond He Fong's imagination. Therefore, he also believed that Ling Xiao must have a supreme inheritance. As long as he captured Meng Ao, Lu Xiongfei, Master Jiao Mu, and Li Ling, he would be able to make Ling Xiao obediently hand over his inheritance. Thinking of this, He Fong's heart began to burn. Ling Xiao, I really hope you're not dead yet. Before you're killed by Senior Brother Tiger, all your heaven-defying inheritance and treasures are mine. He Fong's eyes revealed a hint of greed as he thought to himself. Great Elder, I'm willing to surrender. At this moment, a voice came from the Demon King's mansion. A middle-aged Ling family clansman quickly ran out, his eyes filled with panic. Meng Ao's gaze turned cold. He pointed at the middle-aged man and said coldly, "Kill him." Suddenly, killing intent flashed in the eyes of the Huban battalion soldiers. Countless arrows shot towards the middle-aged man. With a sharp sound, the arrows pierced through the air and turned the middle-aged man into a sieve. Whoever dares to surrender will end up like him. The Demon King's mansion can only belong to young master. Anyone who dares to betray young master will die. Meng Ao's voice seemed to have come from the depths of hell. His murderous gaze swept across the Ling clan, causing everyone's pupils to shrink. The originally restless crowd began to calm down. Clansmen, the Demon King's mansion belongs to the Ling clan. What does it have to do with Meng Ao? Let's go together and open the door to welcome Great Elder. A sinister voice rang out from the crowd of the Ling family. Instantly the crowd, who had just regained their calm, began to stir again. Who's there? Get out here. Meng Ao's gaze changed, but he realized that the voice was erratic in the crowd. He couldn't find the person who spoke at all. Clansmen, the Green Flood Dragon Army is about to attack. Do you think that just 1,000 royal guards can stop the Green Flood Dragon Army? You have to know that Meng Ao is already trash. If Great Elder makes a move, he will die without a doubt. The Imperial City now belongs to the 9th Prince. Even if Ling Xiao isn't dead, what can he do? If he doesn't die at the 9th Prince's hands, he will die at the hands of the Wan Shou sect. Follow Great Elder and you can still live. If you resist, only death awaits you. That sinister voice rang out again. It drifted through the crowd, and it emitted a kind of tempting fluctuation. Suddenly more and more Ling clan clansmen began to move. Coward who hides his head but shows his tail. Get out here if you dare. Meng Ao was about to explode from anger. His expression was extremely ugly, and he had a bad feeling in his heart. As expected, a few Ling clan clansmen who were near the door had a fierce look in their eyes. Instantly, their cultivation exploded, and they charged towards the royal guards beside them. Pu-piu. A few royal guards had their hearts pierced from the back. Their eyes were filled with disbelief as they died. As for the Ling clan clansmen, they ran towards the door of the Demon King's mansion in a frenzy. They wanted to open the door and let Ling Yunxiang and the others in. Clansmen, charge! Kill these bandits who have taken over our home. Suddenly, many Ling clan clansmen began to go berserk. Their eyes were filled with madness as they charged towards the royal guards beside them. Bastard, bastard! Meng Ao's vision turned black as he spat out a mouthful of blood. He was about to faint. He didn't expect that the Demon King's mansion would be in chaos before Ling Yunxiang and the others even attacked. Looking at the deafening battle cries in the Demon King's mansion, he felt helpless. Ha ha ha, young master, they are already in chaos. We can attack the city now. Ling Yunxiang's eyes lit up when he heard the battle cries coming from the Demon King's mansion. He laughed and said, "Attack! Other than Meng Ao, Lu Xiongfei, Jiaomu, and Li Ling, kill everyone else." He Feng's eyes revealed a trace of killing intent as he said indifferently, "What about the Ling clan clansmen?" Ling Yunxiang asked hesitantly, "Humph, these clansmen are two-faced. If they can betray others today, they can betray you tomorrow. What's the use of keeping them? Kill them all. Don't leave a single one alive." He Feng snorted coldly. With one sentence, he decided the fate of the Ling clan clansmen. Yes, although Ling Yunxiang felt a little heartache, these were all Ling clan clansmen. They were also the capital of the Ling clan in the future. He couldn't bear to kill them all. However, he didn't dare to disobey He Feng's orders. He could only nod in agreement. Boom. Following Ling Yunxiang's order, the Green Dragon army that surrounded the Demon King's mansion began to move. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Arrows rained down from the sky and covered the entire Demon King's mansion. Some of the arrows even contained the fluctuation of genuine qi and gang qi. They were able to explode with unparalleled power. After landing in the Demon King's mansion, waves of miserable cries could be heard. Chapter 290. The Demon King's mansion was magnificent. Even the surrounding walls were dozens of feet high, making it look like a small city. There were many watchtowers on which the Imperial Army soldiers were stationed. After several rounds of arrow rain, the Imperial Army and the Ling family suffered heavy casualties. The Green Dragon Army soldiers began to set up siege equipment and charged towards the Demon King's mansion. Rumble. The extremely sturdy gate of the Demon King's mansion could not withstand the impact of the Green Dragon Army. Soon it was completely broken. Countless Green Dragon Army soldiers rushed out and began a fierce battle with the Imperial Army. It's over. Meng Ao's face showed a trace of pain, and he closed his eyes. Meng Ao die. Ling Yunxiang's cold eyes fell on Meng Ao's face. He suddenly jumped up like a rock and rushed towards Meng Ao. Although Feng asked him to spare Meng Ao and the others, it was not a problem to beat Meng Ao half to death to vent his anger. Meng Ao was severely injured and could not even exert the strength of a grandmaster. How could he be Ling Yunxiang's opponent? Commander, let's go. Several Tiger Camp soldiers in black armor roared. They held black sabers in their hands and burst out with all their strength, charging towards Ling Yunxiang. You're courting death. Ling Yunxiang's eyes turned cold. Although these Tiger Camp soldiers were brave, they were only in the Dragon Tiger realm. How could they be his opponent? Kucha. Ling Yunxiang threw out a palm and a powerful innate Gang Qi burst out. It rolled up a sky full of saber radiance and smashed all the sabers. Then it hit the Tiger Camp soldiers hard. Bang! The Tiger Camp soldiers' hearts were smashed by Ling Yunxiang's palm. They fell to the ground and died. Commander, we'll stop him. Run. Numerous soldiers of the Huban camp stood in front of Ling Yunxiang dauntlessly. Their eyes were full of fearlessness and crazed fighting intent. No, Meng Ao roared. His eyes were wide open and 2 lines of blood flowed down his cheeks. These were all warriors that he had personally trained. Many of them were orphans, and they were only in their 20s. They originally had a bright future ahead of them, but they had all died in Ling Yunxiang's hands because of Meng Ao. Meng Ao's heart was bleeding. He suddenly raised his head, and his eyes were filled with rage and killing intent. Ling Yunxiang, I'll kill you. Meng Ao roared as a sky halberd appeared in his hand. It emitted an unparalleled sharpness as he channeled all of his qi and blood into it, and slashed towards Ling Yunxiang. A piece of trash dares to fight me? You're courting death. Ling Yunxiang sneered. If Meng Ao was at his peak, Ling Yunxiang would naturally be extremely fearful. However, Meng Ao had already become a cripple now, and his combat strength was less than 10%. How could he possibly be a match for Ling Yunxiang? Rumble. A black longsword appeared in Ling Yunxiang's palm. Powerful Xiantian Gang Qi was infused into it. Suddenly, a torrential sword radiance shot towards Meng Ao. Clang! The sky halberd and the black sword collided, and an unparalleled sharpness erupted. Ling Yunxiang's body trembled slightly, and he could not help but take a few steps back. The sky halberd flew out of Meng Ao's hand. Blood spurted out of his mouth, and he suddenly fell to the ground. Am I really going to die? Your Highness, I didn't take good care of the young master. I apologize to you again. A trace of bitterness surged in Meng Ao's heart. His vision turned black, and he felt that the world was spinning. Although his furious attack was terrifying, after all, half of his cultivation had been destroyed. It was difficult for him to exert the combat strength of a guru, let alone fight with Ling Yunxiang, who was at LV9 of the guru realm. After that attack, Meng Ao suffered a huge backlash, and he was on the verge of death. Ling Yunxiang, you're courting death. At this moment, a voice that contained monstrous anger exploded between heaven and earth. In the void in the distance, a figure, like a golden lightning, emitted a dazzling golden glow, and wrapped in a brilliant heavenly might, flew across the sky. It was a young man in white, bathed in golden sunlight. His black hair fluttered in the wind, and his eyes were like lightning, full of cold killing intent and anger. Ling Xiao was back. The young master is back? Meng Ao vaguely heard Ling Xiao's voice and saw the peerless figure in white. Suddenly, a trace of calmness emerged in his heart, and he completely fainted. Ling Xiao, didn't you die in the Bahuang secret area? Ling Yunxiang's face changed greatly, and then a deep-seated hatred appeared in his eyes. It was because of Ling Xiao that Ling Yunxiang lost control of the Ling family after Ling Tianxi's death. He could only live in the dark like a stray dog. Therefore, his hatred for Ling Xiao had reached an extreme. Ling Xiao was also shocked. He saw Ling Yunxiang die in the demon mansion with his own eyes. Now that Ling Yunxiang had appeared alive, it seemed that Ling Yunxiang must have a big secret. However, no matter what, Ling Yunxiang was going to die today. Ling Yunxiang, you're really scheming. In order to escape by faking your death, you didn't hesitate to sacrifice your own grandson. However, even if you didn't die, I'll kill you again today. Ling Zhao's eyes were piercingly cold, and his killing intent was blazing. He didn't dare to imagine that if he had come back a little later, the demon mansion would have been flooded with blood, and no one would be left alive. Ling Yunxiang deserved to die. Hearing Ling Zhao's words, Ling Yunxiang's face twisted. He looked at Ling Xiao with hatred and said, Ling Xiao, I'll make you pay with your life for Tianxi. Boom. The black sword in Ling Yunxiang's hand emitted an unparalleled sharpness, and it flew towards Ling Xiao. Ling Zhao's eyes revealed a trace of coldness. Looking at Ling Yunxiang, who was holding a sword, he threw a simple punch. Boundless blood and qi rose, and a golden divine dragon condensed around Ling Xiao. The fist radiance was vast and mighty, and it caused the void to tremble slightly. It contained a force that could suppress everything. What? Ling Yunxiang's face changed drastically. He felt a fatal danger from this punch. Ling Zhao's current strength was more than 10 times stronger than before. How did Ling Zhao's combat strength become so terrifying in such a short period of time? However, Ling Yunxiang didn't have time to think. The fist that was like the sun swept across the sky, and in an instant, it swept away all the sword radiance, and violently slammed into the black longsword. Crack! The black longsword was directly shattered by Ling Xiao, and the unparalleled divine force was transmitted into Ling Yunxiang's body, causing him to spit out blood. He was sent flying dozens of feet away by Ling Zhao's punch. Die! Chapter 291. Rumble. The void trembled. The golden fist radiance was so vast that it seemed to have shrouded the sea in the void. Boundless fist radiance fell and bloomed with billions of rays of light. Ling Xiao came from the sky. His fist technique was invincible. He was like a peerless divine king who could suppress the world and sweep through the wilderness. His blood and qi shattered a large area of the sea of clouds. Ling Yunxiang's expression changed drastically. His eyes were filled with horror. Facing Ling Zhao's fist, it was like facing the vast power of heaven. It made him feel like an ant looking up at a god. No. Block it for me. Ling Yunxiang's complexion was incomparably malevolent. He roared crazily. Endless ghost aura gushed out from his body. Behind him, a huge skeleton exuded monstrous dead qi. It seemed as if it had come from the 9 serenities hell. It soared across the sky towards Ling Xiao. Ling Yunxiang was bleeding from his 7 orifices. More than half of his essence blood had been drained. He used a forbidden technique to desperately block Ling Zhao's attack. The huge skeleton looked like the ghost king of hell. Its eyes were blazing with ghost fire. The monstrous evil qi seemed to have condensed into a black sword radiance that shot toward Ling Xiao rapidly. Rumble. Ling Zhao's fist landed on the huge skeleton. The vast fist radiance and the sword radiance collided with each other, creating a violent explosion that made the heavens and earth tremble. Crack. The skeleton that was filled with the aura of death actually shattered in an instant, unable to withstand the terrifying physical strength of Ling Xiao, which was like a real dragon, and exploded in an instant. Puff. The skeleton was formed by Ling Yunxiang's essence, blood, and spiritual soul. It was a self-mutilating secret technique. After it was destroyed by Ling Xiao, Ling Yunxiang suddenly spat out a mouthful of blood. His aura instantly weakened and he fell from the void. Ling Yunxiang died. Ling Zhao's eyes were piercingly cold. His killing intent was like a substance that completely locked onto Ling Yunxiang. After the skeleton was destroyed by Ling Xiao, he did not stop and continued to attack Ling Yunxiang. Everyone was dumbfounded. Whether it was the soldiers of the Royal Guards, Green Dragon Army, or the clansmen of the Ling family, they were all in disbelief. That was Ling Yunxiang, who was at the 9th level of the Supreme Power Realm. He was only 1 step away from reaching the Celestial Realm. Even in the capital city, he was well known. In the end, he couldn't even last 2 rounds under Ling Zhao's hands. He was about to die at Ling Zhao's hands. One punch to shatter the black sword, and one punch to severely injure Ling Yunxiang. Ling Zhao's godlike demeanor was forever imprinted in everyone's hearts. "Young master, help me." Seeing Ling Xiao charging over, Ling Yunxiang's eyes were filled with terror. He turned to Feng and begged for mercy. Feng frowned slightly, but still made his move. Whoosh! A white sword light shot out from Feng's hand. It was like a divine rainbow. It contained a monstrous sharpness as it slashed towards Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. He actually felt a trace of danger from the sword light that was shooting towards him. A cold light flashed in his eyes as he threw out a punch. The vast fist force exploded in the void, disappearing at the same time as the sword light. "You're Ling Xiao? Ling Yunxiang is a member of our Wanshou sect. You dare to attack him? Do you want to die?" Feng's eyes flashed with a hint of greed as he sneered. "Who are you?" Ling Xiao said indifferently. He didn't even look at Feng. He hurriedly went to check on Meng Ao's condition. Although Meng Ao was severely injured, his life was not in danger for the time being. He was slightly relieved. Moreover, Ling Zhao's eyes flashed when he saw Meng Ao's empty sleeve. His eyes instantly surged with monstrous killing intent as he looked at Feng and Ling Yunxiang. Ling Yunxiang was already scared out of his wits. He ran back to Feng's side and pointed at Ling Xiao viciously. "Ling Xiao, you're dead. This is the true disciple of the Wanshou sect, one of the 7 disciples of the Wanshou sect. Young master Feng. If you know what's good for you, surrender obediently. Otherwise you'll definitely die." 7 disciples of the Wanshou sect? So you're the same as Shi Tianluo? Ling Xiao sneered coldly. This Feng looked very arrogant, but his cultivation was only at the 8th level of the Grandmaster realm. Although his cultivation was higher than Shi Tianluo's, in Ling Zhao's opinion, whether it was his temperament or strength, he was inferior to Shi Tianluo. Such a person actually became one of the 7 disciples of the Wanshou sect. His status in the Wanshou sect was probably not ordinary. "Ling Xiao, don't be so arrogant." Feng's face instantly turned red. His eyes revealed a touch of coldness as he said coldly, "Shi Tianluo is ranked 7th among the 7 disciples of the Wanshou sect. He lost to you only because he was incompetent. You don't know the immensity of heaven and earth. You dare to make a life and death battle with the Wanshou sect. You're simply courting death. This time the Tiger King, ranked 3rd among the 7 disciples of the Wanshou sect, is here. You're definitely dead. If you know what's good for you, kneel down obediently and beg for mercy. Then hand over the martial arts you've cultivated. Maybe I can even beg the Tiger King for mercy and let you live." Kneel down and beg for mercy? Hand over the martial arts? So you've taken a fancy to the martial arts I've cultivated. I'm afraid that you'll have the life to covet it, but not the life to cultivate it. Ling Zhao's eyes flashed as he sneered coldly. He didn't expect that this arrogant-looking young man would covet his martial arts, and even shamelessly ask him to hand it over. At this moment, Ling Zhao's eyes flashed as he discovered that the Ling family members who had betrayed the Demon King's mansion were all trying to escape. Since you dared to betray the Ling family, you should be prepared to die. Ling Zhao's eyes flashed coldly as he flicked his finger. Streaks of invisible energy swords flew through the air, containing a cold murderous aura and killing intent. Ah! Suddenly, screams sounded one after another. The Ling family members who had escaped the Demon King's mansion were all pierced through the heart by the invisible energy swords. They screamed as they fell into a pool of blood. Ling Zhao's eyes were cold, and he didn't even frown. His gaze fell on the Ling family members who had followed Ling Yunxiang. Immediately, their faces changed and they wanted to escape. "I once gave you a chance. Since you didn't cherish it, then you can go and die." The ground beneath Ling Zhao's feet trembled, and immediately, the hard bluestone ground cracked open like a spider web. Powerful Xiantian qi force flowed along the ground, turning into sharp qi swords that shot out from under the feet of the Ling family clansmen, killing them all. Even Dragon Tiger Realm and Grandmaster Realm powerhouses were like chopping vegetables in front of Ling Xiao. They died cleanly and cleanly. In an instant, hundreds of Ling family members were killed by Ling Xiao on the long street outside the Demon King's mansion. Blood flowed like a river, and the air was filled with a thick stench of blood. Chapter 292. Ling Xiao, you're courting death. He Fong was instantly enraged. Ling Xiao killing people in front of him was simply a slap to his face, making him feel extremely humiliated. However, Ling Xiao did not even look at him. His murderous eyes fell on Ling Yunxiang. Although I don't know how you faked your death and what's your relationship with the nether world, it's no longer important. Once you're dead, everything will be over. Ling Xiao said indifferently as he walked towards Ling Yunxiang. Bang! 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 Every step Ling Xiao took caused the ground to rumble. The blue stone ground cracked and a monstrous murderous aura exuded from Ling Xiao's body, oppressing Ling Yunxiang. How dare you? He Fong was completely enraged. His eyes were filled with anger as he stared at Ling Xiao. Qi! An ancient silver sword appeared in He Fong's hand, exuding a blazing light. The light was so bright that it caused the void to tremble slightly. Moreover, the brocade robe on He Fong's body began to emit a brilliant light. Runes spread out. It was a powerful treasure. 2 peerless weapons? No wonder you're so confident. However, if you want to stand up for Ling Yunxiang, you must be prepared to die. Ling Zhao's eyes flashed when he saw the ancient silver sword and brocade robe in He Fong's hand. They were both peerless spiritual weapons, especially the brocade robe. It exuded an extremely powerful defensive fluctuation. Experts below the celestial realm would find it difficult to break through He Fong's defense. However, Ling Xiao was no ordinary expert of the Grandmaster realm. Boom! Ling Xiao threw a punch at Ling Yunxiang. The divine light around him was blazing. His golden blood rose as if it had turned into a golden dragon, coiling around Ling Xiao. The dragon's head merged with Ling Xiao's arm, erupting with an earth-shattering power. Ling Xiao, you're courting death. He Fong's eyes flashed. The ancient silver sword in his hand pierced through the air like a silver lightning. It was extremely fast. Ling Yunxiang's eyes were filled with terror, and he quickly retreated. Get lost. Ling Zhao's face flashed coldly. His fist intent covered the sky and changed direction. His fist landed on the ancient silver sword. An unparalleled fist force erupted. It was terrifying. Rumble. The ancient silver sword trembled as countless sword lights were shattered by Ling Zhao's punch. The runes on the ancient silver sword suddenly exploded, and the overflowing divine power passed into He Fong's arm, causing his entire body to shake. The ancient silver sword almost flew out of his hand. Even though the supreme-grade defensive artifact on his body had blocked most of the force, he was still sent flying dozens of feet away by Ling Zhao's punch. How is this possible? Only when he truly faced Ling Xiao did Crane know how terrifying Ling Xiao was. His eyes were filled with shock. He felt as if he wasn't facing a human youth, but a primordial ferocious beast with monstrous vitality, causing his heart to tremble slightly. Ling Xiao had condensed the sky-devouring golden lotus. His earth dragon body had reached phenomenal success, and he had condensed his martial path primordial spirit. His cultivation had broken through to the Grandmaster realm. His combat strength had increased by more than 10 times, or even 100 times compared to when he had fought with Shi Skyfall. Right now Ling Xiao was confident that even if Sky Snake Descent appeared before him again, he would be able to blast it apart with a single punch. Therefore, a simple punch with the power of his physical body was enough to repel He Fong. Ling Yunxiang, prepare to die. Without He Fong's obstruction, Ling Zhao's cold gaze landed on Ling Yunxiang. His entire body turned into a golden lightning bolt and flew across the sky. No. No. Ling Yunxiang felt the threat of death. His eyes were filled with horror, and there was no trace of fighting spirit left in him. Golden light exploded in the sky, enveloping Ling Zhao's peerless figure as he charged towards Ling Yunxiang. In the blink of an eye, he was right in front of Ling Yunxiang. Boom! A cold, dark, and evil aura emanated from Ling Yunxiang's body. His eyes instantly turned silver, and his entire body was enveloped in a black death aura. His figure was like a ghost as he disappeared into the void in an instant. In the next moment, Ling Yunxiang appeared behind Ling Xiao. A slender black sword appeared in his hand, and a cold murderous intent filled the air as he stabbed towards Ling Zhao's heart. Ling Yunxiang's transformation was beyond everyone's imagination. Who would have thought that the person who seemed to be on the verge of collapse and had no strength to resist would actually reveal his ferocious fangs at the last moment and launch a sure-kill attack? Ling Yunxiang's eyes were cold, and there was no trace of fear left. The slender sword in his hand ruthlessly pierced through Ling Zhao's heart. Bang! Ling Zhao's body directly exploded, and he disappeared into the void. Ling Yunxiang's expression also changed greatly in an instant, because he felt that the slender sword piercing through Ling Zhao's heart was just an illusion. In front of him was only an afterimage left behind by Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao had already disappeared before his eyes. Then where was Ling Xiao? Ling Yunxiang felt a chill all over his body, and a monstrous murderous intent came from behind him. Ling Xiao had already appeared behind Ling Yunxiang without him noticing. Ling Yunxiang die. Ling Zhao's cold voice sounded. Before Ling Yunxiang could do anything, Ling Xiao had already grabbed Ling Yunxiang's arms and suddenly tore them apart. Boom! How terrifying was Ling Zhao's strength. It was almost comparable to the cub of a primordial fierce beast. Everyone saw Ling Yunxiang's body instantly explode in the void. Blood mist filled the air, and broken limbs flew everywhere. Ling Yunxiang was torn apart by Ling Xiao. That hellish scene made many people's stomachs churn, and they couldn't help but vomit. Buzz! In between Ling Zhao's eyebrows, his mental strength turned into a golden light. In an instant, it rolled up in the void, rolled up a black spiritual light, and suppressed it in between his eyebrows. After condensing the martial Dao primordial spirit, Ling Zhao's mental strength had many more means. He could see the soul of a martial artist, and use his supreme magic power to capture the soul, and obtain the information he wanted. After Ling Yunxiang was killed, Ling Xiao took advantage of the fact that his soul had not dissipated to directly roll up his soul, and suppress it in his sea of consciousness. Blood rain filled the sky. Ling Zhao's white robe was whiter than snow, and there was not a trace of blood on it. He stepped out of the void, and his eyes were calm and indifferent. However, no one dared to look at him directly, and they all lowered their heads. Everyone felt like they were in a dream. Such a young man in front of them, who looked like he had just entered the first level of the Grandmaster realm, could actually tear Ling Yunxiang apart so easily? Moreover, Ling Yunxiang's ghostly speed when he was about to die just now was very easy to kill even for a celestial realm expert, if they were not careful. However, Ling Xiao seemed to have known it and reacted in advance. Chapter 293. The light under Ling Zhao's feet flickered like a long rainbow. He walked as if he was stepping on an invisible staircase in the void. He was very confident. The reason why Ling Xiao could suddenly disappear, and then appear behind Ling Yunxiang, was because he used a teleportation technique. He didn't expect the effect to be so good that even Ling Yunxiang, who was at the 9th level of the Grandmaster realm, was fooled. Ling Zhao's gaze fell on Hifeng. Hifeng's body trembled, and his face became extremely ugly. Although he had only fought with Ling Xiao once, he knew that he was definitely not Ling Zhao's opponent. However, if he retreated like this, he felt that he would lose face and was very unwilling to accept it. "Young master, you're back? That's great." At this moment, a familiar voice sounded in the Demon King's mansion. Ling Zhao's body trembled. He suddenly turned his head and saw a middle-aged man in a white robe who looked extremely confident. He was supported by 2 armored soldiers of the Tiger Camp and walked out. It was Lu Xiongfei. At this moment, Lu Xiongfei looked very pale and his breath was weak. It was difficult for him to even stand up. Moreover, he only had one leg left. The other leg had disappeared at some point. Meng Ao lost an arm, and Lu Xiongfei lost a leg. Ling Zhao's eyes instantly turned blood red. "Uncle Lu, what's going on? Where's your leg? Who did it?" Ling Zhao's voice was bone-chilling. He suppressed a monstrous anger and his eyes turned red. He had only been away for more than 10 days. Not only did the situation in the royal capital change, but the Demon King's mansion was almost destroyed. Lu Xiongfei and Meng Ao were also seriously injured and on the verge of death. "It's the underworld." Lu Xiongfei's eyes revealed a trace of bitterness. He said, "Young master, after you left the royal capital, the underworld sent 2 heaven-rank assassins and more than 10 gold-rank assassins. They wanted to slaughter my Demon King's mansion. Fortunately, Li Ling was there. He had risked his life to kill a heaven-ranked assassin, heavily injuring another, and even killing a few gold-ranked assassins. However, Li Ling had also been heavily injured, and Master Jiaomu was still unconscious. My leg and Meng Ao's arm were all done by the underworld. The underworld? Hell. Ling Xiao enunciated each and every word coldly. The fury in his eyes almost burned the heavens. His hatred for the underworld had reached its peak. Even though the underworld had tried to assassinate Ling Xiao on so many occasions, he had never felt the urge to kill all the rats that were hiding in the shadows. Why would the underworld's assassins target the Demon King's mansion so crazily? Aren't they trying to kill me? There was a hint of doubt in Ling Xiao's eyes, but he immediately turned to look at Yifang. In the entire royal capital, only the Wanshou sect hated Ling Xiao so much that they even wanted to get rid of the Demon King's residence. From the looks of it, it was very likely that the Wanshou sect had hired assassins from the underworld. Why are you looking at me? I didn't do it. Yifang jumped in fright, and said angrily out of humiliation. Even if you didn't do it, it has something to do with your Wanshou sect. Since that's the case, I'll kill you first and collect some interest. Ling Xiao's gaze was piercingly cold. His entire body exuded an unparalleled aura as he walked towards Yifang. Ling Xiao, do you really think I'm afraid of you? Green Dragon Army, listen to my command, charge. I don't believe that these 10,000 people can't kill you. Yifang said fiercely. Although he felt that he wasn't Ling Xiao's opponent, these Green Dragon Army could be said to be Chen Weishan's elite troops. There were many experts in the Dragon Tiger realm among them. With so many soldiers surrounding him, no matter how strong Ling Xiao was, he could still be exhausted to death. A Green Dragon Army seal appeared in Yifang's hand. Immediately, the 10,000 Green Dragon Army outside the Demon King's mansion roared at the same time. Pairs of cold eyes fell on Ling Xiao. Boom. Powerful auras were emitted from their bodies. These were all elite warriors who had fought on the battlefield and survived hundreds of battles. The overflowing blood and killing intent emitted by the tens of thousands of people pressed down across the sky, causing the faces of the people in the Demon King manor to change greatly. The 10,000-strong Green Dragon Army had actually already condensed an army spirit. Their chi interweaved with each other, and their blood boiled. They emitted a kind of great power of heaven and earth, just like a celestial tier elite. They were able to mobilize the power of laws in the unseen world, using their power to suppress others. It was extremely terrifying. Ling Xiao looked at the Green Dragon Army in front of him and sighed. They were indeed the most elite force under Chen Weishan's command. They were really strong. However, Ling Xiao didn't intend to tangle with the Green Dragon Army for too long. Yifang, you're really different. Even if your cultivation is higher than Shi Tianluo, you'll never be able to defeat him. Even if you have more people, you won't be able to defeat him. Ling Xiao sneered, and the longevity ring shone with a lustrous light. Instantly, over 100 ferocious-looking giant full-armed apes emerged from the longevity ring. Every one of them had blood-red eyes and long arms. Blood energy surged up from their bodies, and they looked incomparably valiant. Especially the leader, the long-armed Ape King. His body was more than 100 feet tall. He was like a small mountain, exuding an extremely powerful pressure. If they were facing Ling Xiao, the 10,000 Green Dragon Army soldiers could still muster up their courage. However, facing the hundreds of long-armed giant apes that suddenly appeared and felt the monstrous murderous aura, their expressions changed drastically. Their morale was shaken. Roar. The long-armed giant apes pounded their chests and bared their sharp fangs. After receiving Ling Xiao's order, they immediately charged towards the Green Wyrm army. Boom. More than 100 long-armed giant apes rushed over like a black flood. Demonic aura was rolling, and blood chi soared into the sky. The Green Flood Dragon Army was instantly torn apart. Countless Green Flood Dragon Army soldiers were killed by the long-armed giant apes, and some were even trampled into meat paste. Battle cries shook the sky. It was a complete one-sided suppression, especially with the long-armed Ape King that was comparable to the peak of the Sky Realm. The Green Dragon Army didn't have the slightest ability to resist. The sudden appearance of hundreds of long-armed giant apes gave Yifang a great shock. especially the long-armed Ape King's terrifying aura. It scared him so much that his legs almost went soft. This was definitely a 6th-level demonic beast that was comparable to the Sky Realm. Moreover, it wasn't an ordinary 6th-level demonic beast. It possessed the bloodline of an immemorial beast and was extremely powerful. Yifeng didn't expect Ling Xiao to have subdued such a terrifying 6th-level demonic beast. His whole body began to tremble. If he had known about the existence of the long-armed Ape King, why would he still fight? He would just turn around and run. Wasn't that bullying? The long-armed Ape King opened his mouth wide and revealed a sinister smile. His huge arm grabbed Yifeng and threw him in front of Ling Xiao. Yifeng did not even have the slightest ability to resist. Bang! Chapter 294. Ling Xiao stared coldly at Yifeng. He grabbed Yifeng's neck with one hand and lifted him into the air. Haha! Yifeng's face flushed red as he felt a powerful Xiantian Qi rush into his body, instantly shattering all his meridians, making him feel weak and powerless. His face flushed red, and his eyes were filled with fear. After you die, you can only blame yourself for being a member of the Wanshou sect, and for messing with me. Ling Xiao's eyes were cold, and a strong killing intent flickered in them. A powerful aura burst out from his body, and he was about to kill Yifeng. Rumble. At this moment, a terrifying wave of air exploded in the air. An old figure shot through the air. His face was filled with anxiety, and his gaze towards Ling Xiao was filled with rage and killing intent. Ling Xiao, if you dare to kill my son, I promise you that the entire demon mansion will be wiped out. The old man was He Qing. Yifeng and Ling Yunxiang came to attack the demon mansion. It was supposed to be a foolproof plan. However, when He Qing felt a terrifying demonic aura from the demon mansion, he knew that things had gone south. He didn't expect to see Ling Xiao trying to kill Yifeng as soon as he arrived. This made him go crazy. He Qing only had one son, Yifeng. Since he was young, all kinds of resources had been given to him. He had spent a lot of time and effort to nurture him. He doted on this son of his to the extreme. If Ling Xiao killed Yifeng, he would definitely go crazy. Father, save me. Yifeng's eyes were filled with surprise. He used all his strength to beg for help. Are you threatening me? Ling Xiao narrowed his eyes and sneered. So it's your son. No wonder he's such a useless piece of trash. However, I hate it when people threaten me. So your son can only die. As soon as Ling Xiao finished speaking, He Qing's and Yifeng's expressions changed drastically. Ling Xiao, how dare you? He Qing roared and slammed his palm down on Ling Xiao. The clouds in the sky gathered and covered the sky like a canopy, containing a terrifying power. Facing the attack of a celestial realm expert, Ling Xiao's expression didn't change. He was still cold and indifferent. A powerful force burst out from his hand and instantly broke Yifeng's throat. You. Yifeng's eyes were filled with disbelief and unwillingness. Pointing at Ling Xiao, he didn't even have time to say a word before he died. Bang! Ling Xiao didn't even move an inch. The giant long-armed ape beside him suddenly raised its head and looked at He Qing with its blood-red eyes. It punched the air and instantly, a muffled sound rang out. The giant palm was shattered and He Qing was also sent flying by the impact. Although He Qing was also a celestial realm expert, how could he be a match for the long-armed Ape King? The long-armed Ape King was already a demonic beast at the peak of the 6th rank, half a step away from becoming a 7th-ranked demon king. Fanger! He Qing's eyes turned red in an instant. The fire of anger in his eyes seemed to want to burn everything. His gaze towards Ling Xiao was filled with hatred and resentment. Ling Xiao, I will make you pay with your life. He Qing's eyes were filled with killing intent. Even though he wasn't a match for the long-armed Ape King, he could tell that the long-armed Ape King was strong. However, without reaching the Demon King realm, there was no way he could fly. If he wanted to kill Ling Xiao, the long-armed Ape King might not be able to protect Ling Xiao. Rumble! A terrifying aura spread out. He Qing's hair was disheveled, and his face was ferocious. A strange longsword appeared in his hand. His cold killing intent locked onto Ling Xiao. Finally going berserk? Ling Xiao stared at He Qing. There was no fear in his eyes. His battle intent surged. The sky-devouring sword seemed to have sensed Ling Xiao's battle intent. In his dantian, it started to vibrate. Ling Xiao now had the confidence to challenge even a celestial realm expert. Therefore, he wasn't afraid of He Qing. Instead, he wanted to fight with He Qing to see where the limit of his combat strength was. He Qing, your mind is in a mess. At this moment, a sigh sounded in the void. With a flash of light in the void, an old man in a gray robe appeared. His hair and beard were all white, and he had the demeanor of a transcendent being. His aura was very ordinary. Just by standing in the void, he seemed to have become the center of the world. Noble realm? No, he's only a half-step to the noble realm. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. He felt a strong sense of danger. The old man in gray robe before him was like the ruler of the world. His aura could make the world tremble. To become a noble realm expert, one had to comprehend the laws of heaven and earth and control the will of heaven and earth. Secondly, one had to condense the martial path primordial spirit and become one with oneself. Although the old man in gray robe had the power to control the will of heaven and earth, he was still rejected by the will of heaven and earth. He hadn't completely condensed the martial path primordial spirit. Therefore, he was only a half-step to the noble realm. However, even a half-step to the noble realm expert was far stronger than a celestial realm expert. Elder Su, he is Ling Xiao. Elder Su, please help me kill him and avenge my son. When He Qing saw the gray-robed elder, his eyes were filled with surprise and joy as he hurriedly said. The old man in gray robe was named Su Liangcheng. He was the first elder of the Wan Shou sect. He was second only to the supreme elders and the sect leader. He had a high position and was extremely powerful. A half-step to the noble realm expert could defeat the entire Ba Huang ancient kingdom. Besides Su Liangcheng, there was a young man in a black robe standing in the air. His eyes were like lightning, and his whole body was covered by a mysterious light. His black hair fluttered in the wind, and his aura was wild and aggressive. His eyes fell on Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao also looked at the black-robed young man, and felt a strong battle intent emanating from him. Not a celestial realm expert? He is only at the peak of the 9th level of the supreme power realm. But he can fly in the air and guide the laws of heaven and earth. This black-robed young man obviously practiced a kind of powerful martial art, and obviously he has practiced it to the advanced level. Is he the Tiger King mentioned by He Fang? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he thought to himself. Ling Xiao, since you have agreed to a life and death battle with the Wan Shou sect, why did you kill our disciple? Do you really think that you can be so arrogant because of this bastard? Su Liangqing stood in the air and looked down at Ling Xiao. His eyes were cold and his voice was cold. With the Ape King's intelligence, he naturally understood that Su Liangqing was scolding him. He immediately bared his teeth at Su Liangqing and his body emitted a strong killing intent. A life and death battle? Ha 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 ha. Since when did the Wan Shou sect know how to abide by the agreement? If I didn't come, I'm afraid that the Devil Mansion would have been destroyed by you. Since He Fang dared to attack the Devil Mansion, he should have been prepared to die. Ling Xiao laughed and his eyes were full of mockery. He looked at Su Liangqing without a trace of fear in his eyes. He had a natural temperament, and his eyes were filled with fighting spirit. Roar! 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 The long-armed giant apes seemed to have felt Ling Xiao's fighting spirit. They all roared loudly and their voices shook the sky. They beat their chests and an earth-shattering killing intent exploded. Chapter 295. Little brat, it's good to be confident. However, if you don't have the strength to back it up, you'll only end up dead. What do you think? Su Liangqing's eyes glinted coldly as he spoke indifferently. A vast and majestic aura emanated from his body, causing the void to rumble and tremble. It was like the might of the heavens, and lightning bolts shot towards the giant long-armed apes below. Instantly, many of the giant long-armed apes looked fearful. Even the giant long-armed ape king looked fearful. A noble realm expert had the will to dominate the world. That was a kind of spiritual pressure. Even though the giant long-armed apes were ferocious, they were still suppressed. You can try. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed fiercely. Facing Su Liangqing's majestic aura, he did not seem to feel it. Instead, he exuded a strong fighting spirit. Although Su Liangqing's aura was strong, Who was Ling Xiao? 10,000 years ago, countless sovereign realm experts had to bow before him. A mere half-noble realm expert was nothing to him. Su Liangqing's eyes turned cold. Just as he was about to strike, the black-robed young man beside him spoke. Elder Su, if you have to deal with Ling Xiao personally, wouldn't it show that the disciples of the Wanshou sect are useless? It's a life-and-death battle anyway. Let's just bring it forward. Kill him. We still have other things to do. The black-robed young man said emotionlessly. His eyes glinted with sharpness. He stood in the air, his figure tall and straight, as if he could hold up the sky. His body contained an incomparably terrifying power. His entire being seemed wild, and traces of murderous aura filled the air, causing the void to tremble. Tiger King, be careful. Ling Xiao is not simple. Su Liangqing said slowly. He looked coldly at Ling Xiao and stepped back. You're Ling Xiao? Although Shi Tianluo is trash, you shouldn't have humiliated the Wanshou sect. Get over here and die. Tiger King's eyes were filled with ferociousness. He looked at Ling Xiao and shouted. Like a tiger roaring in the forest, he was domineering and wanted Ling Xiao to come and die. Who do you think you are? Only the Wanshou sect can bully others, but others can't seek justice? What a joke. I'd like to see how you're going to kill me. Ling Xiao sneered. His voice was impassioned, and there was a metallic intent in it. He stared intently at the Tiger King with a very sharp gaze. The Tiger King stepped out in the air, and there seemed to be chaotic qi gushing out from his feet. He walked towards Ling Xiao, and a towering baleful aura gushed forth, exuding an aura of confidence and invincibility. In this world, strength is everything. Our Wanshou sect rules the Bahuang region, so we can bully you, but you can only endure. There is no such thing as fair or unfair. This is the reality. You provoked the Wanshou sect, so you can only die. The Tiger King said indifferently, looking down at Ling Xiao from above. His voice exuded an irresistible majesty. Ah, what a great saying. Does that mean I can kill you just because I'm stronger than you? One day, when I can crush the Wanshou sect, the Wanshou sect will disappear from the Bahuang region. Ling Xiao laughed loudly, his eyes filled with mockery. Tiger King did not get angry. He said calmly, if you have the strength, of course you can. But believe me, you won't have the chance. After today, the name Ling Xiao will become history. Really? In my opinion, it's not Ling Xiao who will become history, it's you, the Tiger King, who will become a dead tiger, buried with the Wanshou sect. Ling Xiao's eyes shone brightly, his body exuding a vast and unparalleled aura, like an unsheathed divine sword, standing between heaven and earth. The Tiger King's eyes turned cold, and a monstrous murderous aura rushed towards Ling Xiao. Boom boom boom. The two terrifying auras collided, shaking the void. Endless dark clouds covered the sky, as if it was the end of the world, and countless black lightning bolts burst out. Ling Xiao's body was shrouded in golden light. An endless blood qi turned into a golden dragon, coiling around his body, slowly lifting him up and soaring into the sky. The Tiger King's aura was extremely violent. Black murderous aura filled the air, and there seemed to be a giant tiger head behind him, ferocious and terrifying, roaring in the sky, extremely aggressive and aggressive. Kacha! The two divine lights, one golden and one black, collided and countless lightning bolts burst out in the void. The scene was extremely terrifying. The Green Dragon Army, the Tiger Camp, the Ling family, and the disciples of the Wanshou sect who were watching the battle were extremely shocked. Before they even fought, just the collision of auras had already erupted with power comparable to a celestial being. It was too terrifying. This kid's growth is too fast, he must die, or he will be a great enemy of the Wanshou sect. Su Liangqing and He Qing looked at each other, and saw the shock and murderous intent in each other's eyes. A month ago, Ling Xiao's cultivation was only at the 3rd level of the Dragon-Tiger realm, and he was able to defeat Shi Tianluo, who was at the 6th level of the Grandmaster realm. In just a month, Ling Xiao had broken through several levels and reached the Grandmaster realm. Even when facing the Tiger King, he was not at a disadvantage. This kind of terrifying growth speed made Su Liangqing and He Qing feel alarmed. Especially Su Liangqing, the murderous intent in his eyes was almost tangible. Boom boom boom. The collision of their auras caused the sky to change color, and the sun and moon to dim. It was too terrifying. The Tiger King also thoroughly felt Ling Xiao's strength. No wonder he had the strength to defeat Shi Tianluo. This kid's combat power could not be measured by cultivation. The Tiger King instantly attacked. His eyes turned pale white, and 2 rays of dazzling sword light, like the Milky Way, slashed at Ling Xiao across the sky. The sword light contained a terrifying Gungjin Qi, as if it could cut the sky. Anyone who saw it would feel a sharp pain on their skin. A cold light flashed in Ling Xiao's eyes, and he flicked his finger. Suddenly, a few invisible swords of Qi went up to meet the attack. Crack! As if a thunderbolt had cut through the void, the Gungjin sword Qi and the invisible swords of Qi collided. At the same time, a dazzling light burst out and dissipated in the void. Die! The Tiger King roared, his eyes filled with murderous intent. The huge tiger head behind him seemed to have leaped forward, and he threw a punch at Ling Xiao. A black evil spirit shrouded the sky, and the fist radiance was unparalleled, containing a domineering aura that could destroy everything. Kill! A cold light flashed in Ling Xiao's eyes, and he leaped forward, his hand holding the Vajra fist print. His qi and blood were like dragons, and a vast innate qi burst out, sweeping across the sky. Bang! 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 The 2 figures collided rapidly in the void, as if they had turned into 2 shadows that were difficult to capture. Every time they collided, there would be a large explosion of divine light, and the void would rumble. That terrifying shockwave swept out in all directions, causing the blood and qi of the people below to churn. Their eyes were filled with shock. Both of them were supreme talents of the age. Although their cultivation was only in the Grandmaster realm, the power that erupted from them was even more terrifying than a battle between celestial realm experts. Chapter 296. Boom. The 2 of them clashed rapidly in the void. Their figures were like lightning, crisscrossing and colliding continuously. Then they leaped high into the sky. Their figures turned into afterimages, making it impossible for people to catch them. The void rumbled as a powerful shockwave swept out in all directions, creating waves of qi that dazzled everyone who saw it. Both of them were heaven's favorites of the age, and were at the pinnacle of the 8 Desolates region. Their battle prowess could not be judged by their cultivation base. Tiger King was a peerless master ranked 3rd among the 7 disciples of Wuxia clan. He was at the peak of the 9th level of the Supreme Power Realm, and was only a step away from breaking through to the Celestial Being Realm. Moreover, he had cultivated the peerless martial arts of the Wuxia clan, which was extremely terrifying. Ling Xiao was the most dazzling genius of the Great Desolation Ancient Kingdom. He defeated Ling Tianxi with his fists and suppressed Shi Tianluo with his fists. Ling Xiao and the Wuxia sect had agreed to a life-and-death duel. Everyone had thought that Ling Xiao was too arrogant and would definitely die. However, the battle between Ling Xiao and the Tiger King had already overturned everyone's understanding. Rumble. The Tiger King's body was shrouded in a black baleful aura. His body was very vigorous, like a primordial ferocious beast. Every punch of his could cause the void to rumble and his blood to boil. His physical strength was extremely strong. On the other hand, Ling Xiao's body was surrounded by golden light and divine light. His gaze was indifferent and piercingly cold. Every time he punched out, it was as if a dragon's roar shook the heavens. He possessed a peerless aura that allowed him to move unhindered and unrivaled. The 2 of them exchanged blows in the air, completely relying on the power of their physical bodies. Their boiling qi and blood intertwined together, setting off gusts of wind, causing the spectators to tremble in fear and their skin to hurt. The battle between Ling Xiao and the Tiger King instantly became extremely intense, and attracted the attention of many people in the royal capital. That's the Tiger King, ranked 3rd among the 10,000 beasts 7 scions. Legend has it that he killed a peerless genius of the celestial realm, when he was only at the 9th level of the Grandmaster realm. How could Ling Xiao tie with him? This is unbelievable. That's right, Ling Xiao's talent is too monstrous. Look, he was only at the 3rd level of the Dragon Tiger realm a month ago. And now he has actually broken through to the Grandmaster realm? He must have had some fortuitous encounter in the 8 Desolate Mystery Zone. This young man's growth speed is too terrifying. What a pity, no matter how strong he is, offending the Wanshou sect will only result in his death. Everyone whispered to each other as they watched the peak battle in the void. Different expressions appeared in their eyes. Boom! Divine light burst forth as if the heavens were about to explode. The Tiger King's body was shrouded in black light. It was as if a black divine tiger had leaped out from behind him. Its entire body was emitting sparkling white stars. It moved forward rapidly, and its aura was incomparably fierce. Ling Xiao let out a long howl and charged over at an extreme speed as well. His entire body was shrouded in golden light, and his palm slammed down like an ancient divine mountain, colliding rapidly with the Tiger King. Rumble! After dozens of rounds, boundless divine light filled the air between Ling Xiao and the Tiger King. It was as if a small sun had exploded, and a terrifying aura of qi and blood swept high into the sky. Tiger King let out a muffled groan as he was sent flying several hundred feet away. He stood in the air with a trace of blood at the corner of his mouth as he stared at Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao, on the other hand, did not move. He was as steady as Mount Tai as he walked out of the explosion of divine light. His gaze was very calm. Very well, you've angered me. Don't think that you can be arrogant just because your physical body is invincible. Since that's the case, then I'll let you have a taste of my White Tiger True technique. The Tiger King's eyes were filled with cold, murderous intent. His heart was also very shaken. He had actually lost to Ling Xiao purely in terms of physical strength. One had to know that he was the existence with the strongest physical body among the 10,000 Beast's 7 disciples. Even the Dragon Son, who was ranked first, did not dare to say that he could beat him in terms of physical strength. He had tempered his physical body thousands of times. He had once slaughtered ferocious beasts and slain celestial beings. He looked down on the world, but in the end, he was defeated by a young man. This made him very unwilling to accept. I really don't have the time to anger you because I want to kill you. Ling Xiao smiled faintly. Golden light flickered in his eyes, and his entire body exploded with a powerful battle intent. The Tiger King could be said to be the first person he had met who could compete with him in terms of physical strength. Although he was defeated after a few dozen rounds, it was still very impressive. This was because Ling Xiao, who had cultivated the Earth Dragon body, could suppress a celestial being with his physical strength alone. He was like a ferocious beast in human form, terrifying to the extreme. He had a trace of the power of the ancestral dragon, which was very terrifying. You're courting death. The Tiger King's eyes flashed coldly. His entire body was instantly enveloped by a monstrous black light. A black divine tiger with a white light flashing around its body merged with the Tiger King's body, exuding a monstrous evil aura. It's the legendary White Tiger True technique? This is one of the most powerful martial arts of the 10,000 Beasts sect, a middle-grade heaven-level martial art. It can lead one to the noble realm. I didn't expect the Tiger King to have cultivated it to the realm of great accomplishment. Someone exclaimed, recognizing the origin of the martial art that the Tiger King was using. The White Tiger True technique was a middle-grade heaven-level martial art. Legend had it that when cultivated to the extreme, one would have the power of the ancient divine beast, White Tiger. It was very terrifying. As for the Black Divine Tiger, it was emitting a lustrous white light, which represented that the White Tiger True technique had been cultivated to the Deshang stage. When the Black Divine Tiger had completely transformed into a white tiger, it would be the time when this martial art had been cultivated to perfection. Roar! The Tiger King let out an angry roar that shook the heavens. The terrifying sound waves swept out in all directions, as if reaching the depths of one's soul. The spectators who were watching the battle from afar turned pale. Some of them even had their internal organs injured and blood flowed out of their mouths. It was too terrifying. Just the sound waves from the periphery were already so powerful. What kind of terrifying power would Ling Xiao, who was enveloped by the sound waves, have to endure? Just as the tiger's roar shook the heavens and enveloped Ling Xiao, Ling Xiao's eyes flashed with a sharp light. He also let out a long roar. Roar! A golden divine light exploded and his blood boiled. A golden divine dragon appeared around Ling Xiao's body, circling above the heavens and letting out a dragon's roar. The tiger's roar and the dragon's roar shook the void. Endless sound waves intertwined and turned into billions of invisible chi swords, crisscrossing in the void. Boom. The two terrifying sound waves confronted each other for a moment. In an instant, the tiger's roar was drowned out by the dragon's roar and swept towards the Tiger King. Ling Xiao's dragon's roar was infused with a secret soul attack. It was extremely powerful, and was not something that the Tiger King could withstand. Ling Xiao had already condensed the martial path primordial spirit. In terms of soul strength, even the great elder of the Wanshou sect, Su Liang, was not as good as him, let alone the Tiger King. Boom. The dragon's roar turned into a tangible matter with an invisible force and instantly exploded on the Tiger King's chest. The Tiger King's face turned pale. His body shook and his blood boiled. He also felt that his soul was injured by the sharp light. His eyes were filled with shock. Kill. Ling Xiao came across the sky and did not give the Tiger King any chance. Golden divine light enveloped his body, and there were traces of mysterious yellow qi. Mysterious yellow dragon scales seemed to have appeared on his body, and a powerful dragon's aura spread out from his body. Chapter 297. White Tiger True Technique, Heaven Breaking. Tiger King roared. His entire body was covered in a murderous aura, and his arms were emitting divine light. Suddenly, it was as if a black divine tiger had leaped out and pounced towards Ling Xiao. The sky shook, and the void rumbled. Everyone saw a strange scene. In the void, a fierce battle broke out. Clang! Ling Xiao punched out like a real dragon claw. His whole body was filled with dragon power, and the divine tiger was pushed back. It was very domineering. The divine tiger's body was covered in black light, as if it was a black sea. The white light spots suddenly burst out into millions of sword rays, and enveloped Ling Xiao. Boom! Ling Xiao's body shook, and endless blood boiled, turning into golden divine light, intertwining and pressing towards the void. The sword rays were scattered, and Ling Xiao and Tiger King collided fiercely, and flew back at the same time. At this moment, Su Liangqing and He Qing's eyes were suddenly filled with incomparable shock. This is the Green Dragon True Technique? He Qing's voice was trembling, and his face was filled with disbelief. It shouldn't be. Although the Green Dragon True Technique is very strong, it is different from what Ling Xiao used. However, I feel that the dragon-shaped martial art that Ling Xiao used must be related to the Green Dragon True Technique. Su Liangqing's eyes flashed as he spoke slowly. Legend has it that the Green Dragon True Technique of our Wanshou sect is incomplete. Could it be? He Qing's eyes revealed a trace of surprise. Very likely. I don't know where Ling Xiao got this from. Maybe his dragon-shaped martial art can make up for the Green Dragon True Technique of our Wanshou sect. Su Liangqing looked at Ling Xiao with eyes full of cold murderous intent. He had secretly decided that no matter what, he would capture Ling Xiao today and ruthlessly interrogate him. There were too many secrets hidden in this young man's body. City Lord, can young Master Ling win? Beside Lu Xiongfei, a soldier who was supporting him asked with eyes full of fanaticism. Young Master has never been defeated, Lu Xiongfei said slowly. Although his face was very pale, there was a trace of a strange expression in his eyes. Boom! Tiger King's eyes were extremely cold and filled with murderous intent. He pounced towards Ling Xiao, and the aura around him instantly became berserk. It was as if the power of an ancient beast had begun to awaken. He used his supreme physical strength to erupt the power of the White Tiger True Technique, and pounced towards Ling Xiao. Rumble! Ling Xiao's expression was very calm. His black hair fluttered in the wind as he stood in the air. There seemed to be a mysterious aura flowing around him. Golden lightning flashed across the sky. With every step Ling Xiao took, it was as if a heavenly drum was beating. There was an indescribable aura that exploded. Circles of ripples flickered beneath Ling Xiao's feet, and spread out in all directions. Crack! Cracks started to appear on the white tiger that was pouncing towards him. Then it exploded in the air. Ling Xiao stood with his hands behind his back. His expression was calm as he walked in the air. It was as if the entire world was under his control. It was a kind of power that could control the will of the world and dominate everything. When Ling Xiao finished his 9 steps, the world suddenly rumbled and an incomparably vast aura pressed down on Tiger King. It was as if thousands of sacred mountains were pressing down. The terrifying pressure made Tiger King a little breathless. These 9 steps were the power that Ling Xiao had comprehended when he cultivated the Cloud Dragon 9 transformation technique to perfection, and combined it with the secret technique of teleportation. Open for me. Tiger King's face was a little ferocious. His blood was boiling. He punched out with both fists, and it was as if 2 mysterious worlds had exploded. In the Black Sea behind him, it was as if an ancient beast was about to awaken and return. Rumble. It was as if 3,000 gods and demons were roaring at the same time. A battle saber appeared in Tiger King's hand. It was filled with black light and had an ancient design. The huge saber hilt was like a divine tiger, containing a sharp saber radiance. It's the Tiger Soul Divine Saber? I didn't expect Tiger King to take out the Tiger Soul Divine Saber. Ling Xiao is definitely dead this time. The disciples of the Wanshou sect exclaimed in surprise, their eyes filled with excitement. The Tiger Soul Divine Saber was a powerful Dao artifact of the Wanshou sect. It was rumored that it was damaged, but even so, it still had the power of an inferior-grade Dao artifact. It was extremely terrifying. After Tiger King was given the Tiger Soul Divine Saber, he cultivated a peerless saber technique, the Tiger Soul Divine Saber Slash. Its power was unparalleled. This was the true power of Tiger King. Slash. Tiger King didn't hold back anymore. His eyes were filled with murderous intent, like a black vortex, as if it was going to swallow all the light. He raised the Tiger Soul Divine Saber in his hand slowly. It was as heavy as 1,000 mountains, containing a destructive force, and slashed down towards Ling Xiao. Black lightning flashed across the void. Under the influence of the Tiger Soul Divine Saber, it turned into a lightning saber radiance, rumbling through the void and exploding with unparalleled power. This saber was like the saber of a ghost, destroying everything in the world and killing all enemies. Even Ling Xiao's eyes revealed a trace of seriousness in the face of this slash. Buzz. He could already hear the sky-swallowing sword buzzing. It was a kind of excitement when it met an opponent, eager to come out and fight with the Tiger Soul Divine Saber. However, Ling Xiao didn't intend to take out the sky-swallowing sword. The sky-swallowing sword was important, and it was famous 10,000 years ago. Ling Xiao didn't want others to associate it with him. Moreover, Ling Xiao didn't need to use the sky-swallowing sword to defeat Tiger King. Rumble. A mysterious aura flickered around Ling Xiao as a mysterious vortex appeared in the sky. 4 terrifying beams of divine light shot up into the sky like a dome, covering the sky and covering the sun. Furthermore, they intertwined with each other and turned into a force that made people's hearts tremble. 4 elephants sky-striking style. Ling Xiao's eyes shone brightly. He attacked from the sky and welcomed the Tiger Soul Divine Saber with his palm. How dare he use his palm to receive the Tiger Soul Divine Saber? Ling Xiao is courting death. That's right. He's dead meat. Lord Tiger King once used the Tiger Soul Divine Saber to perform the Tiger Soul Divine Saber Slash, and killed 3 Celestial Realm experts with 1 slash. Each of the Wanshou sect's disciples had a cold smile on their faces. Lu Xiongfei and the people from the Demon King's mansion were also worried. When the Tiger Soul Divine Saber fell, it made them feel as though their minds were being taken away and they were no match for it. How much pressure would Ling Xiao, who was under the Tiger Soul Divine Saber, be under? Rumble. However, when Ling Xiao's palm fell, the void roared as though thousands of sacred mountains were pressing down at the same time. The 4-colored divine lights on the Zhou Tian shook violently, and turned into a terrifying divine light storm. It stirred up all tangible matter as though it was going to reopen the heavens and earth, recreate chaos, and reshape the earth, water, wind and fire. Under the divine light, Ling Xiao and Tiger King had a terrifying collision, causing the heavens and earth to roar. Chapter 298. Clang. Ling Xiao's palm spewed out a divine light that pierced through the saber radiance, and landed on the Tiger Soul Divine Saber. Instantly, the murderous intent on the saber dissipated and divine light shot out in all directions. Tiger King felt his arm go numb, and the Tiger Soul Divine Saber started to buzz. Murderous intent flashed across his eyes as the Tiger Soul Divine Saber changed its direction and slashed towards Ling Xiao. The sharp saber radiance caused the void to tremble. No matter how tough one's body was, it could be sliced into two. Bang! Ling Xiao's expression remained unchanged as he stepped into the void. His entire body changed rapidly, leaving behind an afterimage on the spot as he threw a punch at Tiger King's back. The fist wind surged and intertwined with the astral wind. At the same time, there were golden lightning bolts that contained unparalleled explosive power. Tiger King felt the murderous intent behind him and didn't dare to delay. He immediately flew to the side and slashed the Tiger Soul Divine Saber behind him. Kacha! The Tiger Soul Divine Saber split Ling Xiao into two. However, the afterimage dissipated and Ling Xiao appeared beside Tiger King again. He then threw a punch at Tiger King's arm. Puff! Ling Xiao unleashed the secret skill of the ancestral dragon and the power of the four elephants sky-striking style. How terrifying was that? Instantly, flesh and blood splattered. Tiger King's body shook violently as he retreated while coughing out blood. Kill! 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 There's no one in this world that I can't kill. Tiger King roared furiously as if billions of demonic beasts were roaring in the heavens. Murderous intent exploded from Tiger King's body. The Tiger Soul Divine Saber seemed to have completely awakened. Boundless murderous intent filled the air and intertwined with Tiger King's energy. Rumble! Billions of saber radiance exploded and shot out in all directions, covering the entire sky. The dense saber radiance and murderous intent filled the air, as if they were going to shatter everything. Swoosh! 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 Ling Xiao didn't take it head-on. He turned into a divine light and weaved through the gaps of the saber radiance, leaving behind countless afterimages. The saber radiance shattered everything but couldn't catch up with Ling Xiao's footsteps. Ling Xiao always managed to dodge it at the last moment. Go to hell! Tiger King's eyes flashed with murderous intent as though he could sense Ling Xiao's fear. Wielding the Tiger Soul Divine Saber, he slashed at Ling Xiao. The snow-white saber light was like a heavenly river descending from the 9 heavens. It contained an unparalleled might. Whoosh! Ling Xiao continued to dodge and did not counterattack. Furthermore, he was forced to retreat continuously by the Tiger Soul Divine Blade. His body was even a little shaky. Ling Xiao can't hold on anymore. I knew it. Ha! Who can compete with the Tiger Soul Divine Saber? Ling Xiao dared to provoke our Wanshou sect. He will die without a doubt. The disciples of the Wanshou sect sneered as they realized what was going on. They had seen the Tiger King use the Tiger Soul Divine Saber slash before. That invincible demeanor that swept across the heavens and destroyed everything was forever imprinted in their hearts. Therefore, they firmly believed that the Tiger King was invincible. Now Ling Xiao's retreat seemed to confirm their thoughts. Something's wrong. Su Liangqing's brows furrowed slightly, and there was a trace of unease in his heart. What's wrong? Great Elder, Ling Xiao is about to be killed by the Tiger King. This little bastard is too easy for him. He Qing sneered coldly, and his eyes were filled with cold killing intent. Ling Xiao had killed his only son. He had long hated Ling Xiao to the core. If the Tiger King could kill Ling Xiao, it would be considered as helping him to avenge his son. Ling Xiao, he is very strange. Su Liangqing's eyes revealed a trace of shock. Ling Xiao's body was moving freely in the void. Even he could not clearly capture Ling Xiao's figure. Moreover, he felt that although Ling Xiao's body was a little shaky at the beginning, and he looked like he was in a difficult position when dodging the saber light, his body movement became more and more profound. In the end, it was as if he had merged with the void. With a move of his feet, he appeared in another place. This terrifying body movement was simply unheard of. It had reached the legendary level of teleportation. Whoosh! Below Ling Xiao's feet, there were ripples spreading out. Terrifying saber radiance enveloped the void. Every saber radiance contained unparalleled killing power. However, Ling Xiao's expression was very calm. Every time he moved his feet casually, he would dodge Tiger King's saber radiance. This was the power of the secret art of teleportation. When Ling Xiao faced the Tiger Soul Divine Saber Slash, He realized that the Tiger Soul Divine Saber Slash was indeed a powerful heaven-class saber technique. Its power was unparalleled, and the saber light was endless. Its speed was extremely fast, making it difficult to dodge. Moreover, when facing the Tiger Soul Divine Saber Slash, Ling Xiao used the secret art of teleportation. He realized that his understanding of the secret art of teleportation was getting deeper and deeper. There was great terror between life and death, but there was also great fortune. Ling Xiao was taking such a risk. He was using the Tiger King as a whetstone to practice the secret art of teleportation. Under Ling Xiao's feet, ripples flickered as if they had turned into mysterious runes. They formed a mysterious resonance with the surrounding void. It was very strange. As long as Ling Xiao's mind moved, he could instantly dodge the unparalleled saber light. Damn it! A cold light flashed in the Tiger King's eyes. The speed of his saber attacks was getting faster and faster. However, Ling Xiao was very slippery, which made him feel very uncomfortable. It was as if Ling Xiao had foreseen every attack and dodged them. The power of the Tiger Soul Divine Saber Slash contained the power of the laws of heaven and earth. Its power was unparalleled, and it was extremely fast. Even a celestial realm expert could only take it head-on. There was no way to dodge it. When the Tiger King saw that Ling Xiao's mysterious movement technique was getting smoother and smoother, and was able to easily dodge his attacks in the end, he immediately guessed Ling Xiao's intention. This guy was actually using him as a whetstone. In a battle of life and death, Ling Xiao actually dared to be distracted and practice martial arts. This was the greatest contempt and humiliation to the Tiger King. It instantly made him furious. Tiger Soul Divine Saber, demon descends to the world. The Tiger King roared. The murderous aura around him soared into the sky. Endless divine light rose as if it had turned into an endless ocean. It was extremely terrifying. A terrifying saber light rose from the ocean. It emitted a jet-black demonic light, majestically spanning tens of thousands of feet. The huge saber light soared into the sky. It was as if the surrounding heaven and earth had been split apart by this saber. The wind and clouds changed color, and the sun and moon lost their light. The black demonic aura became the only main color. Boom! Above the tens of thousands of feet-long saber light, it was as if a terrifying demonic god had appeared. Its cold and indifferent eyes looked down on the common people, as if they were dogs. It held the tens of thousands of feet-long saber light in its hand and slashed down towards Ling Xiao. This was the killer move of the Tiger Soul Divine Saber Slash. It contained the power to slay gods and exterminate demons. Even if the Tiger King wanted to use it, he would have to pay a huge price. After he was angered by Ling Xiao, he finally used this move. Demon descends to the world. Rumble. The surrounding void was compressed. Under this saber, Ling Xiao actually felt as if he was being rejected by the surrounding void. Even if he used the secret teleportation technique, there was no way he could dodge it. He could only take it head-on. Do you really think I'm afraid of you? Chapter 299. Gotcha. Lightning flashed in the void as a faint chaotic aura filled the air. The 6 illusory worlds behind Ling Xiao trembled, and emitted a horrifying power as though they were going to destroy the heavens and earth. 6 paths of reincarnation style. Ling Xiao's eyes shone brightly as he threw out a punch. Instantly, the void trembled as the 6 illusory worlds appeared out of nowhere. Boundless chaotic aura wrapped around Ling Xiao's fist radiance as he threw it towards Tiger King. Gotcha. Black lightning flashed in the void as majestic as a mountain. Boundless chaotic aura rose as Ling Xiao used the 6 paths of reincarnation style to meet the Tiger Soul Divine Blade. Boom. Boundless divine light burst out as though a sun had exploded in the void. Heaven and earth rumbled as the terrifying fluctuation spread out, shaking the people below to the point that their vital energy and blood roiled. Their eyes were filled with incomparable shock. Even He Qing and Su Liangqing's eyes turned solemn when they saw the two of them unleashing their attacks. This was especially true for Ling Xiao's 6 paths of reincarnation technique. Chaotic qi rose from his fist, and it contained the mysterious laws of 6 worlds. They flowed around each other and surged with endless power. Even Su Liangqing felt the depths of his soul tremble. What kind of martial art is that? How can there be such a horrifying martial art in the world? Su Liangqing's face was filled with shock. That punch didn't seem to belong to the mortal world. It was the god of hell who controlled the 6 paths of reincarnation. The god who ruled over life and death. Rumble. Everyone could see that Ling Xiao's punch was like the most dazzling sun rising in the sky. The demonic aura in the sky was instantly swept away, and the blade radiance was instantly shattered. The sun had just risen and shone brightly. The demonic shadow on the Tiger King's divine saber let out an indignant roar, and instantly disappeared into the firmament. The heavens and earth were vast and the sun and moon were rotating. Only Ling Xiao's punch was eternal, and could suppress the world. Ling Xiao's black hair fluttered in the wind as his eyes flashed like lightning. He was shrouded in golden light as the illusory world of the 6 paths of reincarnation appeared behind him. He was like a god who ruled over all life as his punch smashed everything before it landed on Tiger King's chest. Puff! Tiger King spat out a mouthful of blood. His eyes were filled with disbelief. There was even a trace of fear. His aura instantly became weak. He was sent flying several dozen feet away by Ling Xiao. Then he smashed into the ground from the void. Rumble! A deep pit appeared on the ground. The layer of mysterious runes on the Tiger King's body also exploded instantly. That was the mysterious armor that Tiger King was wearing. It had an ancient luster and blocked most of the power of the 6 paths of reincarnation. Otherwise, Tiger King would have been reduced to ashes under Ling Xiao's punch, not to mention keeping his life. Even so, Tiger King's internal organs were still injured by Ling Xiao's punch. His internal organs were almost shattered, and blood spurted out from his mouth. Even standing up was difficult. There was a deathly silence. Everyone was stunned. In the sky, Ling Xiao's peerless demeanor was like a young divine king descending to the mortal world. He used the 6 paths of reincarnation to suppress the Tiger King, making everyone feel as if they were in a dream. How could he be so strong? He Qing's voice was a little hoarse. He stared at Ling Xiao, and his eyes were filled with anger and fear. He knew that even he could not withstand the 6 paths of reincarnation that Ling Xiao used just now. Didn't that mean that although Ling Xiao's cultivation was only in the Grandmaster realm, he already had the terrifying combat power to kill a celestial realm expert? There had never been a moment like this that made He Qing feel so fearful. The Dragon Tiger realm could defeat a Grandmaster realm expert, because the gap between the Dragon Tiger realm and the Grandmaster realm was not insurmountable. As long as a Dragon Tiger realm expert cultivated heaven-defying martial arts and had heaven-defying attacking methods, he could completely go against the flow. However, the Celestial realm was different. The gap between the Grandmaster realm and the Celestial realm was even greater than the gap between an ordinary person and a Grandmaster realm expert. It was almost a world of difference. A Grandmaster realm expert could still become an ordinary person. However, a Celestial realm expert had already surpassed the category of ordinary people and became a real person. A Celestial realm expert had comprehended the realm of oneness of heaven and man. He could mobilize the power of heaven and earth to suppress his opponent. This was not something that could be compensated by cultivating martial arts. But now Ling Xiao had broken He Qing's understanding. He clearly understood that a Grandmaster realm expert could really go against the flow and kill a Celestial realm expert. Rumble! Ling Xiao stepped on the void and walked toward Tiger King with a cold gaze. He was surrounded by a terrifying force of heaven and earth. Ling Xiao, what are you doing? Su Liangqing's expression changed. He instantly moved and stood in front of Ling Xiao. His eyes were filled with shock and fear, as well as a hint of murderous intent. Killing is a matter of life and death. Ling Xiao said indifferently, without a trace of emotion on his face. He felt that he had been too lenient with the Wanshou sect before, which led to the Wanshou sect becoming even more aggressive, and using all kinds of methods to deal with him. Sometimes, being lenient to one's enemy was being cruel to oneself. Since the Wanshou sect was so arrogant and thought that they could control the life and death of billions of people in the 8 Desolation region, Ling Xiao would show them that the people of the Wanshou sect were not unkillable. Using killing to stop killing, using the peerless power of killing to carve out a path for the Wanshou sect. Su Liangqing's face twitched slightly, and a trace of coldness appeared in his eyes. He said, "You have already won. Do you still want to kill all of us?" Although they had agreed to a life-and-death duel, Tiger King was a peerless genius of the Wanshou sect. Su Liangqing naturally could not watch him die here. "Of course I have to kill all of my enemies. Get out of my way," Ling Xiao said indifferently, as if he was not facing a half-noble realm expert, but a person who could be scolded at will. Arrogant. Su Liangqing's eyes immediately darkened, and a trace of murderous intent appeared in his eyes. "Little guy, don't push it too far. You have challenged the dignity of the Wanshou sect. Do you really think that I won't dare to kill you?" Ling Xiao smiled faintly and a trace of mockery appeared in his eyes. "Push it too far? Isn't the Wanshou sect the one pushing it too far? Since the beginning, it has been the Wanshou sect that has been arrogant and despotic. You have been targeting and framing me. You even agreed to a life-and-death duel in order to take my life. What? Now you want to slap your own face? Are you going back on your word?" Su Liangqing's eyes were cold as he said coldly, "Little guy, don't go too far. Otherwise, you will die a horrible death. You don't have to worry about that. Today, Tiger King is going to die," Ling Xiao said indifferently as a trace of sharpness flashed in his eyes. "Very well. Little guy, I would like to see how you can kill Tiger King with me here." Su Liangqing was so angry that he laughed. A powerful and terrifying aura exuded from his body and pressed towards Ling Xiao. Author's note. Muyu is very touched by the support of many brothers and sisters. She can only try her best to write an exciting story to repay everyone's support. However, in the past 2 days, there were many other voices in the book review and comment section. Regarding the fees, Muyu had made it clear in her comments that every book had a free period and a fee period. This was decided by the website, and was not something that Muyu could control. Therefore, for those who are uncultured and scolding people, if you don't want to read, you can leave. Scolding people is your own fault. There is also the problem of duplicate chapters. That is the website system. There is no charge for duplicate chapters. You can delete them and add them to your bookshelf. The duplicate chapters will be gone. As for the issue of updating, Muyu is not a full-time writer. She has to work during the day, so she can only update 3 times a day. The content that you see is written by Muyu every night until late at night. However, Muyu will try her best to write on weekends and holidays. I hope you can understand. Chapter 300. Celestial Realm Warriors were one with nature, and could manipulate the power of heaven and earth. Moreover, they could comprehend martial arts and their skills were superb. Noble Realm Warriors were the true masters of heaven and earth. They had reached the point where they could touch the laws of heaven and earth. Their every move could unleash power that was 10 times or even 100 times stronger than Celestial Realm Warriors. If Celestial Realm Warriors could manipulate the power of heaven and earth like a pool, then Noble Realm Warriors could manipulate the power of heaven and earth like an ocean. The two were completely different. Roar. As if sensing the threat from Su Liangqing, the Ape King, who had been calm all this time, roared. His blood boiled and he looked at Su Liangqing with bloodthirsty killing intent. Kaboom. The void began to tremble as a vast pressure enveloped the sky, causing everyone to feel suffocated. It was as if they were being pressed down by the power of heaven and earth, and were about to be crushed into dust. This was the power of a noble realm warrior. Although he was only a half-step to the noble realm, one could see how terrifying this realm was. Ling Zhao's eyes revealed a strong desire to fight. The sky-devouring sword vibrated in his energy center. Sharp sword chi came out of his body and exuded a peerless sword intent that could penetrate everything. Ling Xiao knew that even if he was willing to let the Tiger King off, Su Liangqing would definitely not let him off. When Ling Xiao executed the 6 paths of reincarnation, he had already sensed the hidden greed and murderous intent in Su Liangqing's eyes. Therefore, no matter what, he had to kill this old man in front of him. Ling Zhao's eyes revealed a trace of killing intent. Although a half-step to the noble realm warrior was strong, he was not invincible. Especially in the capital city, Ling Xiao had enough confidence to fight Su Liangqing. Kaboom. Ling Xiao and Su Liangqing faced each other. Just as a great battle was about to break out, a mysterious aura came from below. Tiger King slowly stood up from the big pit. Although the armor on his body was broken, it was flowing with mysterious light and runes. His blood was boiling, and a powerful aura began to erupt from his body. Tiger King's face was very pale, but there was a trace of madness in his eyes. He stared at Ling Xiao in the void and exploded with a strong desire to kill. Ling Xiao, you forced me to do this. Today you will die. Tiger King's voice was very cold. His body exuded a strong killing intent, as if it could shatter the sky. It was very terrifying. Roar. The tiger's roar shook the heavens and the earth. Behind the Tiger King, a white tiger slowly condensed and took shape. Its body exuded a terrifying sharpness, as if it was going to tear the heavens apart. It was a tiger with pure white fur. The fur on its body was like sharp swords, and it contained the qi of gung metal. Its forelimbs stepped into the sky, and its fangs were sharp. Its eyes were filled with a monstrous baleful aura. As soon as this white tiger appeared, everyone felt their hearts tremble. This is the sign of the complete awakening of the white tiger bloodline. Su Liangqing's body trembled, and his eyes revealed a trace of incomparable surprise. The reason why the Tiger King was one of the Wanshou sect's 7 disciples was because he possessed the legendary white tiger bloodline. The white tiger was one of the 4 divine beasts. Even if one only had a trace of the white tiger's bloodline, they would be able to unleash terrifying talent and power. Previously, the Tiger King had awakened the white tiger bloodline once, but it was only a preliminary awakening. Now it was completely awakened. Under the pressure of Ling Xiao, the white tiger bloodline of the Tiger King was awakened, and his aura began to soar. Rumble. Black divine light and lightning enveloped the Tiger King, causing his damaged meridians and internal organs to begin to rapidly repair. A mysterious power awakened in his bloodline, and it made his aura stronger and stronger. There was a faint fluctuation of breaking through the 9th level of the Guru realm, and stepping into the realm of oneness of heaven and man. Elder Su, Ling Xiao is mine. The Tiger King stepped into the sky and looked at Su Liangqing as he said lightly, "Be careful." Su Liangqing nodded, and a trace of surprise appeared in his eyes. The Tiger King had broken through at this juncture. Perhaps he could directly break through to the celestial realm during the battle with Ling Xiao. Su Liangqing naturally would not stop such a great opportunity. Ling Xiao, I really have to thank you. If it weren't for you, perhaps I wouldn't have been able to awaken the white tiger bloodline so quickly and break through to the celestial realm. In return, I will kill you. The Tiger King's eyes were filled with cruelty as he said slowly. Rumble. The white tiger behind him became more and more solid, and there were faint signs that it was about to rush out of the endless space and time. Moreover, Zhou Tian's endless spiritual energy gushed toward the Tiger King. The mysterious aura made his cultivation slowly climb toward the celestial realm. This was a gift from heaven and earth. The Tiger King wanted to completely break through to the celestial realm through the battle with Ling Xiao. Is that so? Perhaps you will be disappointed. Ling Xiao said lightly, and there was a trace of pity in his eyes. Die. The Tiger King did not wait for his aura to completely break through. He instantly soared into the sky, wrapped in the power of the white tiger bloodline breakthrough, and charged toward Ling Xiao. If you really break through to the celestial realm, perhaps you can still fight with me. But your mistake is that you shouldn't have broken through in front of me. Ling Xiao said indifferently, and a bright light suddenly burst out from his eyes. 5 elements heaven sealing style. Rumble. Ling Xiao growled, and the void instantly shook. The spiritual energy in the sky swept away, and 5 bright divine lights shot up into the sky, turning into a 5 elements enchantment and enveloping the Tiger King. The 5 elements heaven sealing style could be said to be the most special move among the 7 limits divine techniques of swallowing heaven and destroying earth. The 5 elements heaven sealing style did not crush and kill everything like the 4 elephants heaven striking style and the 6 paths of reincarnation style, but it had a mysterious power. Using the power of the 5 elements to form an absolute defense enchantment, and extracting all the power of the 5 elements and the laws of heaven and earth, This method was simply a killing weapon for the celestial realm and the noble realm. The 5 elements heaven sealing style isolated the power of heaven and earth. Although the celestial realm and the noble realm experts who could not mobilize the power of heaven and earth were very strong, they were like tigers without their teeth, losing their strongest attack. The Tiger King needed the power of the laws of heaven and earth to awaken the white tiger bloodline and break through to the celestial realm. Now that he was enveloped by the 5 elements heaven sealing style, his breakthrough was interrupted instantly. What? The Tiger King's expression changed drastically. He felt that the power in his bloodline was weakening slowly, and the surroundings seemed to have become a vacuum state. All the power of the 5 elements and the laws of heaven and earth dissipated, and his cultivation began to drop again. Tiger King, even if you break through, you still have to die. Ling Zhao's cold voice was heard. He took a step forward, exuding a monstrous power of qi and blood, and charged towards the Tiger King. In the 5 elements heaven sealing style, Ling Zhao was the absolute master. Although he could not maintain it for long, it was enough to kill the Tiger King. The 5 elements heaven sealing style could only be used on the Tiger King. If Ling Zhao dared to use it against Su Liangqing would probably break through in an instant. Not only would it be useless, but it would also cause Ling Zhao to suffer from the backlash. After all, the difference in cultivation between Ling Zhao and Su Liangqing was too great. I don't believe it. Breakthrough! The Tiger King roared, and his eyes were filled with disbelief and madness. He began to activate the power in his bloodline, wanting to break through to the celestial realm completely. However, this enchantment was like another world, isolating all the laws of heaven and earth. The Tiger King could not achieve the unity of heaven and man at all, let alone break through. Chapter 301. Tiger King felt an indescribable sense of weakness in the vacuum created by the 5 elements heaven sealing style. It was as if he was isolated from the world. It was a kind of loneliness in his soul. At this moment, a cold murderous intent filled the air. Ling Zhao charged towards Tiger King. The world of 6 paths of reincarnation exploded with a terrifying force, as if it was going to annihilate everything. Boom! Ling Zhao's fist landed on Tiger King's body, triggering a dazzling divine light. The broken armor on Tiger King's body exuded a dazzling fluctuation of runes. Its defensive power was shocking. Tiger King spat out a mouthful of blood as he was sent flying backward. His eyes were filled with terror. The power of the 6 paths of reincarnation style was too terrifying. Even though the broken armor had blocked most of the power, it still caused unimaginable damage to Tiger King. Watch how I break your tortoise shell. Ling Zhao's eyes flashed coldly. His body moved freely in the void, and the boundless fist radiance continued to fall on Tiger King. The broken armor shone brightly with mysterious runes flashing, blocking most of the damage. However, the rebounding force still made Tiger King cough out blood. His face was extremely pale. This broken armor is not ordinary. A light flashed in Ling Zhao's eyes as he sensed a mysterious fluctuation coming from the broken armor. It seemed incomparably ancient, and Ling Zhao was unable to see through it. Moreover, Ling Zhao could see that Tiger King was not able to refine this broken armor. He only relied on the passive defensive power to block most of the power of the 6 paths of reincarnation style. This kind of power made Ling Zhao secretly shocked. With the power of the 6 paths of reincarnation style, even if Tiger King was wearing a low-grade defensive Dao artifact, he would be killed by Ling Zhao, let alone a broken armor. However, although the broken armor was strong, it could not block all the damage. Ling Zhao threw out dozens of punches in an instant, and immediately injured Tiger King. Stop! A loud roar was heard. Su Liangqing's eyes were filled with anger as he flew across the sky. A terrifying aura filled the void, suppressing the world. It was extremely powerful and wanted to suppress Ling Zhao. Originally, everyone thought that Tiger King, who had awakened the white tiger bloodline and broken through to the celestial realm, would definitely be able to defeat Ling Zhao. However, they did not expect Ling Zhao's methods to be so strange. He actually interrupted Tiger King's breakthrough, and in the blink of an eye, severely injured Tiger King. His life was in danger. Boom. Ling Xiao seemed to have not heard Su Liangqing's words. He took the opportunity when Tiger King was severely injured and grabbed Tiger King's cultivation. This armor, it has a strong background. Ling Xiao did not hold back at all. Since the Tiger King did not refine this broken armor, he simply tore it off from the Tiger King's body and held it in his hands to study it seriously. Only the inner armor was left of this broken armor. It looked rusty and pitch black, very inconspicuous. However, under Ling Xiao's perception with his martial soul, he discovered that the patterns within the damaged armor were very fine. Moreover, there were many ancient symbols that intersected with each other. Moreover, the material of the armor was very precious and natural. Ling Xiao was unable to discern what material the armor was made of. This is my armor. Ling Xiao, give it back to me. Tiger King was about to faint from Ling Xiao's beating. Now that Ling Xiao had torn off his armor, he was angry and embarrassed. He looked at Ling Xiao with eyes that were about to spit fire. This was especially true for this broken armor. It was a secret treasure that the Tiger King had obtained from an ancient ruin. Although he had tried every method to refine it, he had been unable to do so. However, it possessed unparalleled defensive power and had saved him from danger many times. Now Ling Xiao had actually snatched away this armor. It was as good as snatching away his lifeblood. Ling Xiao, let Tiger King go. Su Liangqing's eyes were cold. He stared at Ling Xiao and exuded a strong aura. Rumble. The void trembled, and the pressure of a king filled the air. Su Liangqing's eyes flashed with killing intent, but they were also filled with shock. The young man in front of him could not be judged by common sense. He was too abnormal. He had to kill Ling Xiao. Otherwise, when he grew up, the Wanshou sect would be in trouble. Why? Ling Xiao sneered and a mocking smile appeared on his face. If he was the one who lost today, the Wanshou sect would not have thought of letting him live. In the end, the Wanshou sect was too overbearing. They were even a little shameless for Tiger King. Ling Xiao, killing Tiger King won't do you any good. As long as you let Tiger King go, the Wanshou sect will let bygones be bygones. What do you think? Su Liangqing suppressed the anger in his heart and said slowly. At the same time he made up his mind. As long as Ling Xiao let Tiger King go, he would cripple Ling Xiao. He could not give Ling Xiao any chance to escape. Let bygones be bygones? The Wanshou sect is really high and mighty. But I really don't care. If the Wanshou sect has any tricks up their sleeves, I, Ling Xiao, am not afraid. But today is a life and death battle. We will not decide the winner, only the life and death. Ling Xiao said indifferently. There was a sharp light in his eyes. Ling Xiao, if you dare to kill the Tiger King, I guarantee that your demon mansion will be completely annihilated. Moreover, everyone related to you will die. The murderous intent in Su Liangqing's eyes was almost tangible. His voice was extremely cold. Threat? Unfortunately, I am not afraid of threats. Tiger King, although I have no enmity with you, you still have to die. Ling Xiao's eyes were filled with murderous intent. In an instant, he slammed his palm down on Tiger King. A cold murderous aura enveloped the Tiger King. His eyes were immediately filled with fear, and his entire body began to tremble. No! Tiger King could not help but shout. Ling Xiao, how dare you? Su Liangqing also shouted. His body was surrounded by a murderous aura as he charged towards Ling Xiao. His eyes were filled with anger. Ling Xiao's expression was calm, as though he had not heard Su Liangqing's words. His palm blade slashed down, like a blazing river of blades cutting across the sky. In an instant, blood spurted out. The Tiger King's huge head soared into the sky, his eyes wide open and filled with disbelief. He could not believe that Ling Xiao dared to kill him. But he would never know the answer. As Tiger King's body fell to the ground, his consciousness fell into eternal darkness. Meanwhile, Su Liangqing's eyes flickered with a hint of redness as his murderous intent soared. Ling Xiao, you deserve to die. Su Liangqing roared. The aura of a half-step to the noble plane exploded. Zhou Tian trembled. Streaks of black lightning, containing the power to suppress everything, charged towards Ling Xiao. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.